Right.
And I did 2 hours of overtime before jumping online.
Look at that. Look, talk about dedication. Firefighter 09, not the CIA, in the house. Good morning, everybody. It is time for season 5, episode number 264 of the Caliber Corner. This is America's favorite quality of life improvement podcast. What else you got going on today? Nothing. You could be sleeping right now, but you're here with us, and I appreciate that. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. Today is time for our annual Firearms Resolutions episode. What's that?
You could be sleeping?
No, you can go back to sleep after. You have permission to go back to sleep after the episode. So,
okay.
Mr. Travis, I thought Foose had to go practice for his next match after this.
Probably during the show he'll be practicing for. He's practicing for his next match all the time. So he's just.
Well, I'm sitting on my butt right now, so
getting ready for your next match. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I am going to dry fire after this.
See, there we go.
You are correct.
What we do every year is January after the first Saturday after New Year's, whatever day that happens to be. We have our firearms resolutions. What are those things that we're going to do to promote the Second Amendment? What are we going to do as firearms owners? Are we going to pick up some new firearms this year? Check out some new ammo, do some reloading stuff. What's the plan? We just have a little chat about what's going on and what our plans are. And the big question is, what's on your wish list for this year? What are you going to do for the Second Amendment? So make sure that you chime in on the comment section and let us know what your plans are, and we will go from there. But before we do that, we have an award-winning panel with us this morning. So we'll go ahead and start off with Squibload showing us his latest deer harvest in his thumbnail there. Squib, was that the 450 Bushmaster that you used on that one?
Yes, that was the one that I bagged on Rick's show. Of course, just like the first one I got when Sean was hosting a lobby, the area, the reception is bad, so all you can hear is audio. There's no way I could do video, just not enough bars to do that, but picked it up from the butcher yesterday. So yeah, that deep freeze is topped off. Good to go.
If you want venison, go to www.squibloadvenison.com. So there you go. So Squibby, what's funny is when you shot at the deer on Rick's episode, it was epic. It was like boom, and then you hear the brass like deflect off of something. It was like clink, clink, clink. I'm like, whoa, that was sweet. I was like, oh, he definitely got something.
Yeah, it's inside the blind, so I always save the brass from when I harvest a deer, and I put it with the patch or any leftover tags or whatever it is, and I just got one for every year. And it's the rifle's got a linear compensator, so it pushes the noise forward, and I had the muzzle out of the window on the blind, but I didn't have it that far out, and my only ear pro was earbuds, and I was good to go. But I've fired it in a blind without any ear protection, and my ears really weren't ringing that bad. The linear compensator really does seem to do the job. I even had somebody shooting next to me at the range, and they're like, it's not coming out sideways and blasting me in the face or anything. So it worked out well. I still
what's your barrel length? 18, 20, 16? 18.
It's 18. Yeah.
So you got a pretty good powder burn by the time it exits. It's not like you've got a lot of concussion coming off of it from unburned powder, like if it was a AR pistol or an AK pistol, which is just uncomfortable to sit next to you when it goes off, Well,
Well, how it is when you're at the range and the guy next to you's got the 300 Win Mag and just
bang
away, and it's like, really, dude. Yeah. So, and I realize that it's not a 300 Win Mag, but it hits hard. It really does.
Yeah.
But I've got some tweaking to do, a little bit of tweaking to do for next season. I've got a hunting load for sure. Foose, I'm using Accurate number 9. Okay. So I tried that and Enforcer. Those were the only two that I had. For the load data I had, I used Hornady data. Didn't cycle the bolt, so I used Lee data, and then I had enough to cycle the bolt. So I haven't chronoed it or anything else like that, but using a 250 grain Hornady XTP. XTP is my go-to. I tried some Lehigh Defense extreme penetrators, which I've used in the Henry and bagged deer with, but I had some issues with them feeding in the Bushmaster. Somebody told me I could Dremel out the front of the magazine and that would help. I don't know. But if anybody out there has ever used extreme penetrators in a 450 Bushmaster, let me know if you've had any feeding issues.
What are you using for a mag? Are you using the same one that we bought for Thunder on the Prairie, that same brand?
The 5-round ASC.
ASC? Yeah, ours was solid. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
ASC or AIC?
No,
ASC
ammunition
magazines.
storage components.
Yeah.
Ammunition storage components. And they've got a 5 and they've got a 7. They've got a couple different finishes, but they're out of stock a lot on that. So maybe one of my goals this year is to get a second magazine just to have an extra.
I was lucky to get one for Thunder on the Prairie. I had to hunt around to find one. When I did, I think it was a Gun Mag Warehouse, but they were almost sold out. So yeah, it has a very unique follower. So a lot of people say you can just use an AR mag. No, it has like a cylinder-shaped follower. So a regular AR 5.56 follower. I tried it, and all it did was jam my gun. When I tried to use an AR mag, it was horrible. So I never again. So yeah. I think Defense said you might have been with me. I think we tried using one of my 5 rounders, and all it did was wedge 2 rounds in there, and that was it. We're like, okay, we're going to single load it now. So, yeah.
Everybody gave us crap on our videos because we were loading it like a bolt action.
Well, we didn't have a choice. I mean, there's nothing I could do. I didn't have a mag for it. I couldn't get one at the time. You know, it was months before we were giving it away anyway. And so then I thought, well, maybe we should, since we couldn't use the 5.56. I probably could have maybe got a follower for it possibly, but it's not always that easy. You know, a lot of people don't know. Unless you make these videos, you don't understand. But, all right, cool. Okay, so we're going to keep the introductions moving here. Single Shot, how's your morning going? You good?
Not too bad, my friend. And good morning to everybody on the panel and in the chat. I just stopped here in Greenland, New Hampshire. I'm going to get some fuel here as soon as somebody pulls ahead. Mm-hmm. Had a good little, sort of vacation there for a little while, but I really screwed up on something.
Uh-oh, what happened? What'd you do?
I was going to do a bunch of videos there with the tablet, and I turned around and left the blasted thing in the truck. So I didn't get much of that done, but I got a bunch of cleaning done. And so far, everything's cleaned up pretty well, and got the stuff ready to test fire.
All right.
But I still got a few left, so we'll take that daggone tablet home with me this time.
Absolutely, man. You gotta keep your equipment with you, dude.
Oh yeah. It's just a thing that I did, and I forget my head wasn't attached. I forgot a couple of things at the house anyway when I left.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, got a lot of stuff done, like I said. Got some scopes mounted. Found out that I had to have one scope that I've got to replace, and I've replaced it already. I had a couple of spares that I had in my cabinet. Done a bunch of casting. I got a bunch of stuff from Track of the Wolf, and cast up a bunch of 454 RBs.
Ooh, nice.
And going to have some of those for the cap and ball revolver, I hope, and get that thing out and put a few rounds through it.
Oh, black powder revolvers are awesome.
Oh always yeah, fun. They are a lot of fun. My brother went into the hospital, so I got to give them a call here in a while and see how he's doing. But other than that, we did pretty well actually with everything that was going on. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'm out here to get fuel here in Greenland. So I'll be doing that for a few minutes.
Well, if we call in and you don't respond, we'll know that you're busy. Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a good day. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8:10. Ready to rock and roll. So on the time zone that I'm in. So cool. All right, moving right along. Defense Dad, what's new in your world, man? How you doing? You good?
Oh, I'm awake-ish.
Hey, that's all that matters, man. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Had a big glass of iced tea, had some breakfast. I'm good to go for a little bit.
Sounds good. You said maybe go hit the hay after we get done here.
This is my last day of vacation. I've taken this whole week off. I got to go back to work tomorrow. I'm doing a whole lot of nothing today.
Oh man, back to work on a Sunday? Oh dude, come on, man.
Well, I haven't worked since last Sunday, so.
Okay. Well, there you go. You get a chance to go out to the range. You doing shooting at all, or are you just kind of hanging around, relaxing, visiting family? What's what you been up to?
Oh, I had family here visiting the first half of the week, and then second half of the week I'm just recovering from that.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Cool. Guys, make sure you check out the Defense Dad channel. And in a couple minutes here, we'll kind of talk about Thunder on the Prairie 2023, which is going to be coming up. We're starting to get that organized, and got a lot of planning ahead of us, but it's going to be a good time. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Cool. All right. Also joining in, he's pretty young. He's probably the youngest person on the panel, but we got Firefighter 09, not the CIA, joining us. Firefighter, what's going on in your world, dude?
Just taking suggestions down for my gun present for my 33rd birthday in under a month.
Ooh, that's right.
No,
That's
no,
right.
no,
Yeah.
no.
23rd birthday?
33rd.
23rd. Oh, 33rd.
You identify as
33rd.
15. You're
That's right.
Hey,
Don't say that. We don't
Bruce,
want any underage
Bruce,
people on the channel.
Add,
So
add 7 more reps to your dry firing and reload drills today.
Okay.
that's your penance.
Okay, it's going to have to be a firearm gift because a razor's definitely out of the question. He still
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
have facial hair.
Yeah, he's way too young for Match.com, so we're gonna have to. So save what you're gonna get for now, because we're gonna go around to everybody and just see what the plans are for purchases. You know, what anything kind of checking off our interest boxes or not. So we'll come back to you on that. But what else you been up to, man? You busy working or what?
Oh, always busy working, you know. I got to make sure Squib's truck's loaded with stuff to get out all across the country, man.
There you go. There you go. Squib or single shot? You mean single shot?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. I take road trips. I'm going to be hitting the road here this month.
Hell yeah. There you go. Right on, man. Right on.
Hey,
Yeah, we
I'm
both-
one of the few people who could say works in a factory that still makes their stuff in America.
Now that's a you people I want to be called.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, man. Cool. All right. And also joining us, Foos. The Foos is loose. Foos, what's going on, man? You getting ready for the new competitive season or what?
Yeah, I started dry firing this week. Pretty heavy. Out of the 5 days already this week, I dry fired 6 times.
Okay.
And I didn't touch a gun yesterday. So
Dang.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I do 2 days on occasion, so that's cool. Yeah, playing with the Glock that I had milled for an SRO right now.
Ooh,
And
nice.
then probably middle of March, I'm going to swap over to the limited gun that I'm going to be playing with for the rest of the year.
Oh.
I've been doing a whole bunch of reloading. I now have 6 50 cal ammo cans of 9 and 10 50 cal ammo cans of 40, and I have probably about another 4,500 5,000 rounds I need to make of 40. And
For the season, to get through the season? Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
man. Sounds like you got a little bit of shooting ahead of you.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I'm going to be tearing down the press, and it's going to be inoperable for a good while. So
Gotcha.
that's why I'm head loading all this.
Oh, yeah.
All this ammo.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Just kind of on average, how many rounds can you get out of your press before it requires like a major overhaul or major maintenance? What's it rated at? 100,000 rounds, 200,000 rounds?
What do you consider major maintenance? Like
what does the factory recommend for a time that you need to like service the item? Do you wait till the press fails or no longer functions or what?
No, so you oil it every time. There is one grease cert and one grease action you have to mess with. They suggest every 10,000. The grease cert is you don't have to do that much, or at least that often, I should say. The other one goes. I usually do about every 20,000, and then after about every 2 to 3 years, I will take the thing 100% completely apart, degrease, clean all the crap out of old oil, powder, pieces of primer out of the very bottom of it. But if it was ran by hand, maintenance would be less, just because, well, you put a motor on anything and all of a sudden maintenance goes up.
Yeah, it's consistent wear on the components.
Even though the motor itself has 0 maintenance on it. It's the moving parts. So,
yeah, everything else that just has contact, everything that's got a contact point is going to be wearing out at some point or getting dirty or
So yeah,
cool,
just just machine oil. I usually use a 3-in-1 stuff. Just to kind of keep it nice and lubricated, and
cool.
Yeah, I'm going to be tearing it down, not for a major overhaul, but because I'm going to be moving, and the place I'm going to have, I'm moving with a girlfriend, and she's not going to have a place for it.
Ah, okay.
So
I'll take it. If you don't
that's
want it, you
the
can ship it
issue.
to me. I've got plenty of room downstairs in the man cave. I'd be more than happy to set it up and run a couple 100,000 rounds through it for you. Make sure it keeps running, with no problems.
If you have primers, go ahead.
Ooh, that's tempting. That's tempting. I've got 100. Does that count? Actually, I did all my reloading last winter, so I'm good.
Let's see. Right now, I
Oh,
think.
God, here we go. I got 25,000, right? Probably, right?
I think I'm north of that.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Here.
So if you want to know where the primers
let
are.
me look real quick. Oh no, a buddy of mine has spent $16,000 this past year in primers.
Oh God.
Wow. 6, 5, 5. So that's 15. I probably about 20.
Okay.
Probably 23. But yeah, a buddy of mine, he has 250,000 primers in his
Oh my
base.
God. That should last a couple seasons of shooting, I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go and keep moving on here. And last, but certainly not least, we've got our cousin to the east. We've got American Hillbilly. American Hillbilly, how's it going, man? You doing good?
Doing good, buddy. How you guys doing today?
Doing okay. Doing okay. I was a little disappointed to see you eliminate the sacred drink, Mountain Dew. I mean, I thought it was going to be a seltzer only thing, but you got to do you. So, yeah,
oh, man, yeah. Fruit. It said fruit quake, but
Yeah,
actually had a
fruit
picture
quake,
of
yeah.
a fruit cake on it.
Oh my
and
God.
It did
Okay.
taste nasty.
Yeah, that's sometimes Mountain Dew just kind of pushes the limits of what people really should be drinking. If it's like Jones Soda Company, they make like the Thanksgiving flavored pops every year, sodas every year. But
So
Mountain
you get
Dew,
like
come
a
on, guys,
turkey
Those are
Mountain
allowed
Dew.
to be shot. Those sodas are allowed to be shot.
turkey.
Yeah,
and
no,
gravy
those are
soda.
fine because Jones kind of invented the whole food flavored soda thing. But Mountain Dew, I mean, coming up with like fruitcake flavored soda. Wow, man. Yeah, that deserves to be taken out quick.
Yeah, and I was still trying to finally recover some from all those Christmas videos, and they were a lot of fun. But to shoot that many videos, it took a lot of time, man. But I had a blast doing it.
So if you want to know what the American Hillbilly channel is all about, now's the time to go over there because he's got a compilation video where he has like snippets of like every video he did over the previous year or since you started, and it's awesome. I mean, there's everything you want to see in a video. It's very cool. So check that out because and then also big announcement. What's going on Wednesday, man? We got to let the world know about it. So we have a lot of people there. Don't worry, I'm under 6. We'll make this work. What's going on? What's going to happen on Wednesday?
Yeah, our buddy Chris from the 740, he's taking off this Wednesday. I think he's just getting stuff ready to go to the SHOT Show and things like that. And so anyway, I'm going to fill in for his Wednesday night live chat. It's Wednesday and it's 8:00 Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
And so
9 o'clock for all you people on the East Coast that's slowly being eaten up by the ocean.
Yeah, 9 o'clock 9 o'clock East. And Travis is going to be on there, I believe, with me and a few others.
Should be able to. I don't think there's nothing coming up. So yeah,
we'll have a blast. There's no doubt about that.
Heck yeah, cool. A few announcements I want to make real quick. So last summer we had an event called Thunder on the Prairie. You might hear people talk about it. There's a couple of videos on YouTube for it. Now there's a lot of Thunder on the Prairie events that happen in North America. There's a motorcycle rally. There's something in Michigan or Illinois called Thunder on the Prairie. There's some horse gathering called Thunder on the Prairie. What it is we get a bunch of people together that are all friends on YouTube. Most of us have channels. Not everybody, but most of us do. And we have a range day where we just get together and go to an awesome range and do a lot of shooting. We go to Nebraska Shooters, which is located in Firth, Nebraska. It's actually a training facility. And the idea is to just get everybody together, allow people to have a chance to maybe make some videos, network a little bit, shoot a bunch of guns, have a good time. We went out for a couple meals and cooked a meal or two and had a great time getting together. We're going to do that again. So it's Defense Dad and myself that are going to be putting this on. And Nebraska Shooters is going to graciously let us use their range. This time around, it's going to be a 2-day event. Now, you're not required to book for both days, but you should because it's going to be a good time. Plus, you might be tired Saturday night and want to check out on Sunday or do some shooting on Sunday before you go. The idea is on Saturday, we're just going to have a range day. Bring it, shoot it, have fun. Try other people's guns if they want to let you try them. Shoot some guns you maybe don't get to shoot at your own range, and have a good time. And then on Sunday, starting bright early in the morning, you can start filming and shooting. So we're gonna have some designated areas where people can go to film and shoot, because not everybody that shoots at ranges, they don't have the opportunity to walk around on the range like we do. That kind of freedom to get as close as they want or as far as they want from the targets and so on. So for a lot of people, it's a cool opportunity to maybe get out and do some videos they don't normally get to do. So if you're interested in that, it'll be over at nebraskashooters.com over on their website. You'll have an opportunity to sign up for the event so we know how many people are going to be coming. There's going to be some lodging options at the range itself, at the school itself. And we'll post that once those get posted and stuff. You can check and see if there's any spots available. We have sponsors for the event. It's going to be a good time. We have some giveaways. Don't know what we're going to give away exactly, but we have the same sponsors on board that we had last year. So hopefully it's a lot of goodies. Defense Dad, do you want to add anything to it?
Real quick, guys. G-Web last night said he needed to go hold of UGEtube, see if you wanted a logo for that, and he's also putting it on his calendar. So
yeah, we're talking. We're going to talk about the logo thing here in just a second too. So we're going to do a contest for it. But go ahead, Defense Dad. Yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, we had fun with the event last year, but we realized, the one day was not enough. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
It's going to be nice to split it for this year.
Plus the weather might not agree. We might have a couple hours of rain that gets in the way, unfortunately, because it is Nebraska. It is the summertime, and you're going to get 4 seasons in one day. I promise you. So,
sure, we did last year. Well, we didn't get snow, but we got everything else.
It was cold. It was windy. It was warm. It was hot. It rained. It almost hailed. We had tornadoes.
It was cold.
A little chilly.
In the morning, yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, like it can go from low 50s up to, which for us that's hot, but I'm just saying that you get a massive variance in the climate over the course of one day. We're looking at June.
I thought it was
June.
pleasant.
Oh yeah, it was nice. We're big guys. We have a lot of insulation, but June 3rd and 4th or 2nd and 3rd. What are we looking at?
3rd and 4th, the first
3rd
weekend in June. Yep.
So it should be popping up on the Nebraska Shooters website here. And again, for the drawings, we like to have it. You need to be present to win, because we don't want a bunch of people just buying entries to come to the event and not actually showing up just so they can get the drawings. Plus, we have to ship that stuff. So we prefer that you be there at the range that day. And I know it's not fair for people that have to work, but we're giving you 6 months notice. So if you can be there, great. If not, 5 months notice, whatever. We'd like to have everybody there if possible. But okay, Shane, what else? Anything else you can think of? Maybe $25 a day. Is that what the cost was last year? Was it 25 or 50? I can't remember.
Yeah, I got to double check with the, but I think it'll probably be about the same.
Okay.
To kind of a layout of what it is, they have a rifle range ish going out to maybe 60 yards, 60, 70 yards.
It's 65 at where we were shooting, and if you go, but yeah,
so about 60 yards. But I mean, you could go out to 100, but you have to shoot across the road, and with that many people, most likely.
And it's not a traditional range that goes out to 1,000 yards. It's a firearms instruction school, so a lot of what they do are defensive carbine, defensive pistol courses. They do have some shotgun areas we can use too. So
yeah, and they have a couple bays that are a couple areas you can shoot anywhere, maybe out to maybe 20, 25 yards. Maybe
it allows
yards.
people to shoot steel that don't normally have access to steel.
True. And as fast as you want, and yada yada yada.
Be able to walk around and have the whole range to yourself, essentially, where you can walk around and shoot and film it. Because a lot of people don't realize that, like when you do these YouTube videos, I was lucky where I used to live in central Nebraska that I'd go out to this massive range and there's nobody there. It was literally just me. There might be one other person up on the hill over in the rifle area, but I could walk up to the boards and talk and come back and shoot. There'd be nobody there during the week, and so I had full access to it. I really missed that. So this is kind of an opportunity for me too to have a chance to really get out there and not have to be set by the regulations of the range because of other people present. So it really is a cool opportunity for people. So something to think about if you want to kind of see what it's like to make a gun video or hang out with YouTubers or whatnot, or just hang out with your friends. That's what we're going to do. So it's going to be a good time. So something I mentioned to Defense Dad this morning, we're looking for some ideas for logos. We want to get some stickers made for it, and I'll talk to Angelina over at Owl and Anchor, and we'll get some stickers made for it. Now, what I envision, what I would like to see, and this is just me talking, I would like to see just like a projectile going over the top of corn stalks, and they're kind of moving in the wind with the projectile as it goes over the top of it, like something real simple, just lines, But I don't care what the logo is. So if you have an idea for a logo, and Defense Dad and I pick your logo, what we'll do is we'll send you some sort of a prize. I'm going to put together a prize pack and I'll ship it off to you. So right now, let's plan on February 1st, which is Firefighter's birthday, right? I mean, how awesome is that? He's going to get a new firearm, and we're going to have a cool drawing on that day. And if you want to be in the drawing and you're good with graphics or art, you need to email your logo to thecalibercorner@gmail.com. Also understand, I'm not going to put this in writing, but by submitting a logo to us, you're giving us permission to have the logo made, manufactured, and distributed to other people. I'm not saying we may sell them at some point in the future, just so you know. This might be something that you'd be basically giving up the rights to your creative art. So that's just kind of when you submit it, that's going to be the terms of it, just so you can't say down the road, well, you guys sold 1,000 of those stickers, I want my money. If you submit a piece of art, it's ours, okay? Because we're going to be using it for the event, and it's probably going to be the logo we're going to use year after year. So we'll just plan on February 1st. So you'd email your designs to thecalibercorner@gmail.com, and DefenseNet and I can do like an on-air drawing of the one that we like the most, what we decided on. And who knows, I mean, we can get a series of them made, but there's a cost that you have to go through to get stickers made for an event. They're usually about $1 a piece. Sometimes there's a proofing fee that you have to pay also. So it is not just like a cheap thing where we're paying like a dime a sticker. It's not like that. Or maybe get some patches made possibly, depending on the design. And who knows, maybe we'll pick a design for a sticker and one for a patch, and we'll go from there. So DefenseNet, does that sound good to you? Does that work for you?
Oh, sure.
So M. Gabriel says, I want a patch, although I can't attend. M. Gabriel says, I'll buy. Yeah, so the stickers are one of those things where we could potentially sell them in some way, shape, or form. We'd have to run it through, maybe we could do it like as an eBay thing where we can sell it on eBay, or we can run it through Etsy or whatever. So we'll make it work. So if you guys want to buy one, you can, and we'll make sure it's just going to be cost plus shipping. And if we just drop it in an envelope, it's just going to be the cost of the stamp in an envelope or whatever. So we'll plan on February 1st. So send your entries, send your entries to thecalibercorner@gmail.com. And let me type that in the box real quick, and we will look them over. All right. There we go. And also, if you want to see what's kind of interesting, is we were definitely trailblazers on last week's episode of The Caliber Corner. If you didn't watch it, you missed out on a lot of good stuff. Well, really, you did miss out on a lot of good stuff, because everything that we talked about was then featured on all the big gun channels this week. So we were really ahead of the curve talking about some new firearms that were coming out. There's another Rock Island Armory pistol that just got announced, and I'll show that off a little bit later on. I love the name of it, and we'll talk about that. Yeah, it is just another 9, but it's kind of a cool design, and I'll show that off too. So let's just get into the discussion. I think I covered all my housekeeping stuff that we need to get through. Yeah, okay, so talking about our resolutions for 2023, it's the start of a new year. And just like a personal perspective, what are you going to do? And I'm just dropping this question on everybody in the panel, round robin style. What are you going to do this year to promote the Second Amendment? Okay, I'm just going to go first and get it out of the way. I'm definitely going to do what I can to let people know about constitutional carry for Nebraska. We've got, I believe, LB 77 that's been introduced. We've got a lot of people on board. I'm going to write to my representatives, email them, and let them know I want them to support that bill. I'm going to let everybody that I know that they need to vote for constitutional carry, because it's a good thing. If you look on the map, there's this horrible spot in the middle of Tornado Alley where there is no constitutional carry. It's sad that I'm actually relieved to go through Kansas and Texas and Oklahoma because of the constitutional carry statutes that make it easier for me to brandish my firearm, even though I've got a carry permit. It's just a relief to know that there's nothing funny that's going to happen between here and where I'm going. Okay, even North Dakota and South Dakota have it also. Of course, Colorado's not on there, but they're kind of an anomaly. Who knows if that'll ever happen. So anyway, I'm definitely going to push for that. For the 2A. Also, I'm going to try to join a few different gun organizations. I'm currently a member of the GOA. I did join the NRA in order to get my range safety officer certification credentials. Now, you didn't have to be a member to do that, but I did it because I like the educational side of what the NRA does. I like to support that. I'm not in favor of the other stuff on the other side, which is pretty sad, the manipulation and the corruption. But I do like how the NRA ILA functions, and I also like their educational side. So I am currently a member of the NRA, but I mainly did it after I got my RSO certification from the NRA. So that's really what I'm going to work on right now. Obviously, encourage firearm ownership, taking friends to the range. I've got friends that want to go to the range and go shooting. Going to help people get their carry permits this year too. Going to work with them on that, help them get signed up, including my own dad. If we wouldn't get constitutional carry, he wants to take the concealed carry class. And if we do get constitutional carry, I'm going to make him take a handgun course, probably with Sandhills Defense. So, all right, let's go to American Hillbilly. What are you going to do to promote the Second Amendment this year? What are your plans for 2023? What are you going to make happen this year? So you're on the media. You've got a very powerful, connection to the world. What are you going to do to promote the Second Amendment? American Hillbilly, you with us?
By being here now?
Yeah. Let me see. I'm checking the.
Nah.
No, not yet. Okay, well, we'll come back to him. That's right. It happens. Don't worry about it. Foos, what about you? What are your plans, man?
For the Second Amendment, not too much.
Promoting the 2A.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Promote 2A. Again, I mean, just being a responsible gun owner and showing off matches. You know, talking to people about like USPSA and the skill side of owning a firearm, not just ownership of firearm, but getting out and using it, testing your abilities, figuring out ways to make your abilities better.
Definitely.
That's how I'm gonna do it.
And we all support the industry.
That and use all the primers I possibly can.
There you go. And by being a firearm owner, by being somebody who buys guns and ammo, you're showing your state, your tax dollars, that it is a big deal in your state to keep that industry growing. For Nebraska, gun-related purchases, firearms, the outdoors, hunting, it's a massive part of our economy. And it doesn't always get the recognition I think that it should, because we're an ag-based economy. But the amount of money that people spend, hundreds of millions of dollars in Nebraska to come to Nebraska, to use Nebraska for shooting, hunting, competition, it's massive, and it's a big deal. So people don't think about that when they want to abolish firearms,
Well, like I said, a buddy of mine this year bought 250,000 primers for himself, so he doesn't have to worry about primers. And he said that when he gets down to 150,000, he's going to start searching for more, because he does not want to get into the place he was last year where he was floating on 20,000-30,000 primers, and this guy usually shoots anywhere between 60 and 70,000 a year.
And here's the thing, guys, you might think that's insane. Somebody made a comment earlier, they're like $16,000 worth of primers, holy crap. It's like, if you're a race car driver, you need racing gas for your car, right? If you can't get racing gas for your car, you can't compete. Think of it like that. It's the food for your hungry weapon. It's what you need. This
individual is a sponsored shooter. He probably travels under his sponsorship and himself. So his sponsorship gives him a per diem for X. Here's your budget for the year, basically. He will use all that budget plus probably twice as much of his own money going to matches. Basically, whenever I talk to him, through all of his normal living expenses is about $1,200 a month, and then all of his everything else goes into shooting. Like the new widget comes out, he buys it to see if it gives him an edge. This guy is a top 20 shooter in multiple different divisions. So this is what he does. So,
and again, just as a casual shooter, it's nothing to go burn through 100, 150, 200 rounds, depending on what caliber you're shooting. If you're there for a couple hours, we're talking 15, 20 round mags. I mean, you're going to get through stuff fairly quick, so it's not a big deal to us to have those kinds of numbers in our inventory, because that's the gas for our race car. That's what we use. Yeah.
And if primers ever get down to $50 per thousand, I'm going to work really hard to get to that $250. Because I shoot and my girlfriend shoots, and I reload for her. It's 250,000. You think that's a lot, but over the past 10 years, if I had to have an educated guess, I bet you I've put close to 400,000 rounds downrange.
Yeah.
I
see how much you shoot, dude. I see the volume you go through and the brass you generate and stuff, and the shooting you do. It's legit, man. It's real. So for some people, that's
I've worn out barrels to where the rifling was not squared; they looked like speed bumps.
Oh, there you go.
So
cool. And all right. So firefighter, what about you? You said you're going to pick up a new firearm for your 33rd birthday on February 1st. What are you going to buy? What are the plans? What are you going to get?
Oh, I don't know yet, Travis. I don't know.
What's your budget?
Yeah, that's a good starting place.
Probably nothing more than $1,200.
Well, the DWX is out
then. No, they're $11.99, aren't they?
No, DWX is $2,000.
Oh, is it $2,000? I thought it was $10.99. Okay,
we'll see. I would love to get my dream rifle, which is made here in the Buckeye State. It's an updated version of the bar, but it's $5,000.
Oh, well, start saving now. In a year, you'll have the money. Anytime you want to buy something stupid, don't just put the money in a jar.
but by the time you're 20, you'll have it.
Yep.
No. It'll be by the time I hit 40.
By the time he hits 40, you know what's sad is I didn't start buying bucket list guns until last year, and I'm going to be 46 in March. So, man, it's never too late to start, dude. It's never too late to start.
I'm going to be 42 in March, and I don't even have a bucket list gun.
Oh, man.
Oh, I have 2 whole lists of bucket list guns.
Better get busy now. So, firefighter, what are you going to do for the Second Amendment? Are you part of any organizations? Are you part of GOA? Are you part of the Second Amendment Foundation or anything like that?
Believe it or not,
yes,
I renewed my NRA membership because one of my 2023 resolutions is get an RSO certificate.
Okay.
And because I work in a factory, we have a lot of, middle-class people. Some love guns, some hate them. And I've been having good practice about explaining gun laws and all that. And even if my coworker goes, well, I really don't like them, I'm like, but hey, I'm just offering. If you ever want to learn, I can put you in touch with people, or I can let you shoot some of my own.
Yeah, if I could tell you the number of family members I've had reach out to me and say, hey, can we, I'm looking at getting a firearm. I want to get some, even just people that aren't your everyday gun owners that would just never consider having one, want one around. I go, look, it's a tool. If it doesn't ever get used, wonderful. If it needs to be used, it's there. That's one way to think about it. It is what you make it. It really is. If you want to say it's something evil, that's because you say it is, not because it inherently is. Yes, it is designed to eliminate life. That's the whole purpose of what it does, but it's also there to save life too.
Or in case of like Squib's logo shows, put me in your freezer.
There we go.
But I'm also looking at possibly joining a couple of state gun rights organizations because our current legislative assembly, believe it or not, a Republican introduced a gun control bill in the state of Ohio.
Oh, time to get rid of that boy.
Yeah. And
thing is, that stuff doesn't surprise me because if you really think about it, we get so complacent whenever Republicans are in charge that's when gun rights go. Because they're both the same side. They're both different sides of the same coin. So.
Or when they're being occupied with trying to elect a speaker. They're spending days and days of bickering when they should be defending our rights,
Oh, that just ended last night.
I know. That was interesting. Yep. All right, so let's go and continue. Defense, what about you? What are your plans to support the Second Amendment here in 2023? You got anything going on? You got any ideas? Anything new you want to try this year?
I'm going to continue doing the stuff I normally do, be a good ambassador, put a professional and safe image out there. I am going to, like John has asked me to help with get a location for a diversity shoot again this year.
Okay.
For the NFOA. Kind of more the same I normally do. Just put out the image that everybody doesn't have to be that typical gun owner that everybody thinks of.
Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam,
Yeah.
No, I mean, gun owners span an entire breadth of the human population, of American population. It's all races, creeds, backgrounds. I mean, look at my own family, and I look at people that I know that have bought firearms that are owners, and it shouldn't have to be some sort of demographic you fall into. Everybody has the right and the ability to do so as long as you are able to legally own a firearm. You should, because again, it is a tool that is important to have in case you would ever need it for whatever reason. There's a million reasons why things could go south and you need to defend yourself. You never know what's going to happen. That's when people least expect it, is when they need these things and they don't have them and they have to reach for the closest thing like a hammer, right? So, yeah. We do have real quick, we have a super chat coming in. We got Tom F., who said, great show. Tom F., thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll put that money towards the Thunder on the Prairie patch creation. So I appreciate your super chat this morning. Thank you so much. And again, it's always kind of a change on this episode because generally we're so, centered around, just talking about a certain kind of gun or something in the industry or firearms. That's what I usually try to focus on because that's my passion. It's what I enjoy doing. but it is fun to have just a little discussion about what we're going to do, what we're going to try different this year. Defense side, what are you thinking? Nebraska concealed carry, man. Are we going to have some momentum? We've got the governor to support it, so we've got that part taken care of. We've got a lot of representatives that are on board. Something like, what was it, 15 or 25 so far? Or no, what was the list up to? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but we got to make sure that, a call campaign, a writing campaign, get those two not to flip this year, because we missed it by 2 votes last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Close.
Well, and we had a lot of people that backed out at the last second because they were moving up the political food chain and they were not going to be in Nebraska. They were going to be going big time, and they didn't want that vote on their record. So they failed us. They let us down. And these were people that would have been conservatives or Republicans or even Democrats that would have voted for it that decided not to at the last second. So they totally betrayed the citizens of Nebraska against what they said they were going to do. And to sit there and say, oh, constitutional carry states become a bloodbath, that's just not true. The numbers don't support it. Legal gun owners represent less than 1% of all gun crime committed in the USA. So
it's the ones that don't have guns are the bloodbaths.
Yeah, exactly. Places where it's heavily regulated. Why are those the places where the most innocent people get killed? Baldwin Carries throws a little bit of sarcasm at us, and he's just kidding here. Guns are scary and dangerous. Why can't you guys have normal hobbies like golf or wine tasting? Baldwin Carries, you know how many people die from alcohol-related injuries every year? Wine tasting usually turns into wine gulping, which usually turns into going the wrong way down the road, which leads to 36,000 car accidents every year.
I've injured more people with a golf ball than anything else.
I know you're more likely to get killed by you're more likely to be killed by a blunt object like a hammer or a golf ball than an AR-15. So I'm just saying. Now I know he's just joking. He's a good guy. Baldwin Carries Litter Channel, but.
A driving range / golf course is a
golf clubs can be dangerous, deadly weapons. Golf clubs should have a background check with a 7-day waiting period and a serial number on it. They need to be regulated. A golf club's a blunt object. I don't care what you say. That is a dangerous weapon if you want it to be. So, just saying. Chris out there says, "Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone." Tony says, "I shoot wine bottles and golf balls. Does that count?" Absolutely, Tony. Absolutely. There you go.
Well, driving ranges and golf courses is a very wasted use of a.
What is the difference between a driving range and a shooting range? I mean, we both have the same goal in mind, accuracy and distance, right? I mean, that's what we're both going for. Really, when you think about it, there's a lot more in common that we have with golf and competitive shooting than people realize. So I think people need to understand we've got tools of the trade. We have projectiles. We have outdoor areas that we use that are regulated. Really, there's no difference between competitive shooting and golfing when you really think about it. We're both aiming for that bullseye, that precision shot. So,
and trying to have a goal in the least amount of shots / strokes.
I think I need a tabletop review of golf course. I've never done that before. I've already done a winter storm. I've already done the NRA range safety officer course. I've done beef jerky and tuna. I need a tabletop review of golf course and talk about how similar it is. In fact, most of your golf courses, it'd be cool. I wish golf courses would double as a firing range in the wintertime. That's what they should be doing, is using that land, especially if they're out of town. That would really be a good use of all that green space that's not being occupied in the wintertime. So just throwing that out there.
Would you yell 410 instead of 4 when you're teeing off on a gun range?
You see somebody going across with their cart,
No, that's at a different type of driving range.
You'd yell 45 ACP because by the time the bullet actually got down range, they would be in the path of it. It wouldn't beat them to it. So
that is true.
Yep, you can do tactical drills out of the sand pit and stuff.
Yeah, you could roll around a little. You could go up, shoot, take cover. Yeah. You could practice throwing your simulated hand grenades in the cups.
And then you could go in the trees and pretend you're in a woodland environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so American Hillbilly's back. Okay, so what are your plans to support the Second Amendment this year?
Buy as many guns as possible, maybe.
There we go. Are you part of any firearms organizations? And if you don't want to share, I understand. But do you GOA, Second Amendment Foundation, anything like that?
Well, I mean, I try to support all that I can. I mean, I just, the person can get political with either one of them or whatever, but still, I feel like they're on the side of the Second Amendment or something. I try to support them myself.
Okay. Yeah, locals are a big one. For us, it's Nebraska Firearms Owner Association that's pushing for constitutional carry, and that is a non-for-profit, volunteer, grassroots organization that promotes the safe and legal use of firearms. And I mean, it's people that use their time You can donate to it, but there's no monetary compensation for the members. Nothing for the president, nothing for the representatives. Our own Sandhills Media is on the board and does a lot with media coordination for NFOA. So you can join it, by the way, even if you're not a Nebraska resident. You just can't vote for board members and stuff. But still, so
yeah, something else. I'd like to make a gun because, we have like a lot of great cool guns out there, but there's stuff we all would like to see. And and first of all, thinking, well, first you have to have a good name. And so I know we have like the honey badger and the sugar weasel. So anyway, I figured I would name mine the bitter possum.
Bitter possum. Is that a modified high point? It's got like a Geisley trigger in it, and like a binary trigger, and linear compensator on a blowback gun. Yeah.
Ooh, I should do the defense dad zone and have because I said so etched in the side.
There you go. Yeah, because I said so in quotes. Defense dad. Have that Cerakoted on the stock. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be sweet. Tacos and French Fries says that he does the opposite. He makes sure to avoid non-pro 2A businesses. Yeah, you can go and do a Google search for businesses that don't support the Second Amendment. But a couple things about that I do want to say is maybe approach management and say, hey, why don't you encourage or allow people to conceal carry in this establishment? What are the fears that you have about it? Because I said if people are going to bring a gun in here, they're going to do it anyway. So why not allow those people that legally do it to continue doing so when they're not going to hurt anybody anyway? A case in point, our charter or Spectrum Cable office would not allow carry in that office, and they had the sign. It was like letters across the bottom of the door. It's like no concealed weapons allowed. Like you couldn't even see it unless you looked literally at the bottom of the glass door. Like I'm not talking it was halfway up, it was at the bottom. And I went in there and I said, why don't you guys allow concealed carry or allow people to conceal their firearms in this establishment? He goes, well, it's a corporate thing. We don't have any say on it. So they just passed the buck. But if it's a small business, go in there and have a chat with them. But if you want to avoid the business altogether, you're certainly welcome to do so. And there's a lot of Google searching you can do to find out with places that don't encourage concealed carry. Now, there's a lot of people that are going to carry there anyway, and they don't care because their lives are more important than the playful waffles they're about to eat. So it's more important to them to be able to protect themselves and their family, and they don't care. And it also depends on the state because of what could the punishment be if you're caught concealing carrying in certain establishments you're not supposed to. What could be the punishment for you? Sometimes that weighs on people's minds too. If for some reason somebody would know that you've got a gun on you, but still. All right, let's go ahead and head back here to the comments. Kevin June says, having golf courses double over as a shooting range, that sounds like a hole-in-one. There we go. Tony with the mic drop comment of the day. You don't yell 4, you yell 44. Always appropriate for Tony. He's a 44 mag fan. So you got that. Tacos and French Fries says that he's going to suggest that at the course today when he goes. LOL. Yeah, if you can legally set it up somewhere, have some part of your range set up as a as a firing range. You've got acres and acres of open land that only a small percentage of it's actually used by the people that use it for competitive sport, right? I'm telling you. What else do we have out there? Let's see. Defense Dad says half of the golfers are drinking during play, so it's way more dangerous than us responsible gun owners. That's another thing too, is we do not consume alcohol. We should not be consuming alcohol while we're handling our firearms. So that's something that while we're especially on site at the establishment, not to mention the driving home they do after they leave the golf course, which I'm sure none of them are past the minimum legal limit. I'm not trying to rip on golfers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that sitting there saying, well, you should go out and do this and enjoy it. There's a whole nother subset that goes along with participating in some of those activities. So,
oh yeah,
I like golf. I have golfed in the past. I live on golf. I hate to say it, but it's true.
In my younger years, I played 3 or 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Played or drank?
Yes.
It always starts off serious, and by the end, people are just, So yeah.
Let's put it this way: when my friends and I played golf when I was younger, the beer cart gals made a lot of tips.
Oh yeah. I see him driving out, doing it all the time.
The 19th hole.
Sure. Do it if you're going to do it responsibly. That's all I ask. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So be a good ambassador for your sport, right? Tony York says our local driving range failed and is now a paintball course. So let's see. Single shot. Did I ask you what you're going to be doing for the 2A this year? I kind of lost where we left off. I know we had defense, Dad. Yeah, and then Squib, you too. We got you covered. What are you going to do for the 2A this year, Squib?
I just got rolling there, bud.
Okay.
Oh, Go ahead.
Squibby, go ahead, man. What are your plans to support the Second Amendment in 2023?
Single shot. Single shot.
Okay, all right. Single shot. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to be working with the legislators because Maine is in need of some enlightenment. I'll put it that way. So I'm going to try to do the best I can as far as that goes. And if it comes along that some of the younger family members want to get into it, and I'm going to do the best that I can do to and have fun while they're learning.
Absolutely, man.
I've got a lot of information that I can pass on. Many years of shooting, etc., hunting, whatever, and I want to pass that on. I don't have any children of my own, so all I got is my nieces and nephews. If they show an interest, which I have a few of them that are, they're going to get information from me the best that I can give it to them. And they're good kids so far. So I got one that's a super shooter with a revolver.
Cool.
Kid is good, but I got to get him away from the blasted video game. Get him calmed down a little bit.
Just go pick him up on the weekend and say, we're going to the range. Come on, let's go. We're going to go get some burgers afterwards. We're going to go to the range and have a good time. You need to get outside. You say you need some sunlight. You're getting pale. Grab your stuff. Let's go.
Sir.
So just be the adult in the situation and say, you're going with me. Come on.
Yep. Let's go, boy.
There you go. Develop those skills and abilities, and maybe you'll take a passion for it. You never know. So might have the next Jerry Michalik under your belt there, coming up, raising.
This boy, if he really put his heart into it, he could be in that caliber. So, it's a good feeling to have somebody in the family that's like that, but you just got to get his attention diverted from something else.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Get him out on the range, get him handling different weapons, stuff like that, teach him. And now that I've got just about everything all together on the cap and ball, my brother's interested in that, and he wants to shoot. So I've got everything together for that 44 caliber Bison cap and ball revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Teach him a few things on that. So we're going to do what we can do until I can't pass that CDL physical. I'll be out.
Then you'll find you just have to go out to that range in your backyard.
Get to the point when Yep.
Yeah, man.
And that we can do up there. We can do that.
There you go. All right, let's see what we got here.
That's the thing. Get the young uns out there and get them going at it.
Absolutely, man.
Teach them right.
That's right. Next generation is where it's coming from. I'm telling you. So sorry, guys. Single shot's breaking up a little bit. I was trying to kind of choppy there, so I was trying to talk to him. No, it's all good, man. It's cool. It's good. I'm glad you're doing that and definitely encouraging it. Good deal, man. Cool. And then talking about the youth here, Tony York says, I was a big hit at Christmas this year, passing out 6 Ruger Wranglers and ammo. In Squib's household, it was a very Taurus Christmas. It was a Tauri Christmas, if you will. So, Squib, let's move on to you. You're obviously encouraging the respect for the Second Amendment by encouraging your family members to become firearms owners and take up ownership and go to the range and shoot and be responsible. So, Squib, what do you think, man? Is that where it's heading? Is that what you're going to be doing? Working with the fam this year?
Yeah. The past couple of years, between things being closed down and my work schedule, it's just been an ordeal to get everybody on the same schedule. There's 4 of us and we're all on different schedules, and then to get us at the range at the same time. And enough excuses, it's time to do something. So every year they get Christmas in their stockings. This year they got Christmas in their stockings. Ammo. I need some more of this coffee you sent me here, Travis. Ammo in their stockings.
You only have 4 cups now. You gotta
Travis, it takes me about a pot and a half of coffee to wake up.
That's okay, man.
Yeah. So no,
Yeah.
they get for Christmas they get ammo in their stockings. This year they got boxes of ammo. Every wrapped box that was heavy, they're like, "Oh, I know what this is," and the reason being is because what you can put in a stocking is only so much. But I wanted to we need family time at the range this year. It's got to happen. It's gone on too long. It needs to happen. My older son, who's been out of the house for years, has been buying his own guns, and he wants us to shoot some of his guns and that sort of thing. And we really need to get some range time. For me, it's difficult to do, but it's just an excuse. It's a matter of, all right, make the plan and stick with it. Put some contingency in there, but stick with it.
Have it on the calendar and tell the kids you're not going anywhere. You're coming with me on this day.
Yeah, and that's just between sports, they both have jobs and all that. But now, finally, my wife and I are on the same schedule, and I'm not at that factory anymore, working 7 days a week. It's not as much money, but I've got a lot more free time. So when the weather gets better, we need to get out there, and I'm looking forward to it because we do have a good time as a family at the range. And it's just something that's long overdue. And I can sit there and make excuses all day. It's time to take some action.
There you go. Somebody was mentioning they're hearing some beeping in the background, guys. I apologize. We're all broadcasting from different places and spots, so I just muted everybody up. And background noise happens. It's just part of doing a live show. We're all not just sitting in a nice little comfortable room like me. So yeah, so Squib, that's good that you're definitely getting the family together and just kind of getting them out there and keep that enjoyment, that fire going for enjoying going to the range as a family and having a good time and going from there. So let's check out a few comments here. So Bjorn says, my girlfriend wants more guns. Okay, that can be an expensive problem, but a good problem to have. Let's see. Tom F says, my grandma's 93 and looking for a boyfriend, so you never know about how many years she has left. That being said, I'm 40 and I have all the gun gifts that my grandpa gave me. All right.
Wait a second. Going back to the girlfriend thing, is it the girlfriend that's expensive or buying guns that's expensive?
Well, she could be expensive depending on the guns that she wants. So I remember, if I got this right, I believe she got a Colt Trooper Mark III because of me. Unfortunately, I kind of created an interest in it. I think she got one. I could be wrong, but Bjorn, you were mentioning that was a revolver that she really wanted. I'm telling you, once you shoot one of those things, it's a magical revolver. That's all I got to say. It's just that trigger is so worth the cost. What else we got out there? Tony York says, well, at my age, there's a lot less time ahead than behind. So I do what I can to promote the interest in guns. Dude, that's awesome. It's great that you're doing that. And not only that, but we're talking about responsible gun ownership, not being an idiot, not handing somebody a gun that's too big for them and putting it on YouTube and letting that be the example of irresponsible gun ownership when 99.9% of us work hard to do that kind of thing and would never intentionally hurt somebody, okay, unless we needed to defend ourselves and whatnot. Sam of Anarchy put this out there. He said, a perfect example of idiots with knives. There's a guy that attacked a school with a knife and kept going towards a sheriff's deputy and got double tapped in Mariposa County, California. It's going to happen. I mean, that's you can't. I don't know what people are thinking. And the thing is, you're never going to take the evil out of everyone, and all you can do is make sure that you have the tools to defend yourself when that evil comes your way. So let's talk about those tools for a little bit, because I'm excited for 2023, seeing what's going to be coming out. Let me just go and throw this one out here. My one of my 2A resolutions, again, is to join a few more pro-gun organizations, keep doing what I'm doing, keep making firearms content, keep promoting responsible ownership of firearms, maybe actually do something with the range safety officer certification maybe this summer, just hang out in some ranges and see how they function and operate, or maybe be a part of some event, right? As for me, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm at a point now where I've just gotten to the point where I'm buying bucket list guns now. I'm in my mid 40s. I want to enjoy these while I can. I want to own them for a long time. I do have family members that'll be receiving them when I'm gone. So I'm kind of getting away from buying a lot of cheaper guns, which is what I did for the longest time on the channel. I would focus on guns that were $350 and less. And part of it was they were good guns that ran well, most of them. And the other part of it is they were popular and they did get a lot of views on YouTube. But I'm also discovering that a lot of my bucket list guns are also popular with a lot of people, because sometimes you have less videos on those firearms out there. So as a content creator, I'm always looking for something I can use on the channel. But from a personal level, these are firearms that I want to get. And I purchased a couple. I got my Dano Defense DDM 4A1. I've got my color case hardened finish octagonal barrel, beautiful pre-side gate Henry 3030 that's become a safe queen, unfortunately, but I still shoot it once in a while. This year, I'm kind of going into the other end of the spectrum. I wanted to get a 10 millimeter for a long time, and so I'm really considering getting the High Point JXP 10 when it comes out, and then I also want to get a High Point 10 millimeter carbine because they share the same mags. And what's more perfect than having a carbine and a pistol that share the same mags that shoot the same ammo? I mean, that's great. That's reason to buy both right there. I've got a Gen 1 High Point carbine, a little bit of a pain to take apart and clean, but a fun shooting gun, very accurate. You'd be surprised. And I want to get another one. So I want to maybe get one that's got like a fancy camo finish. I'm not sure yet. Maybe get something that'll match my hat. So that's my plan right now. I was going to get possibly, I was originally going to get a Rock Island Armory bundle. And they're now doing the Dagger S, the larger dagger, with the AKs for $7.99, which is a really good deal. It's a GF3, but it's got the full Magpul furniture on it. It's got the folding stock. The furniture alone, all that stuff on the gun's worth like $200. So you're saving like $300 or $400 if you buy the bundle from PSA, and it's usually in flat dark earth is how they offer it. So my stepdad and then also Night Strike, they both texted me and said, "Hey, Palmetto State's got those in stock." Well, the night before, the JXP 10 had been announced that's going to be coming out on the market. And I want to get one. And then I definitely want to get the carbine and go with it. Thing is, man, you can run plus B ammo through those things. What a great kind of home defense setup. I mean, 10 millimeter, you can say what you want, but it's a stout round. And those JXP 10s will run fairly hot rounds through them with no issues at all. So anyway, that's my plans right now. Pick up a few more. Well, I've got a couple guns left on the bucket list that I want to pick up, but that's already starting to narrow down a little bit. So for me, it's going to be picking up the 10 millimeter High Points just to have fun with them and stuff. And then also that Rock Island Armory 5.0, which we'll take a look at before we leave, the new gun that Rock Island just announced. That looks like an interesting little piece. It kind of strikes my CZ nerve because I've got a Shadow too, so I might want to pick one of those up. So anyway, enough of my chit chat. Squibload, let's move on to you. I don't know how much you want to reveal, but do you have any plans for any firearms or 2A related purchases at all this year? Anything coming up that you want to do?
Purchases?
Yeah. I know you said you might be holding off a little bit because my Travi mind tricks have cost you thousands, but
so one of my goals, I set different goals. They're bucket list type goals, or they're just, for a certain time period, like for the year, whatever. I don't really do resolutions as much as I do goals. A resolution is making a change. A goal is an objective. It's not necessarily a change. One of my bucket list goals was to buy one gun a month for a year, or the equivalent. So if I buy 12 guns in a year, then it's the same as buying one a month. And I did that last year. But part of the reason I did that was because I was making a lot of extra money working 7 days a week. And I had plenty of disposable income to do that with. Plus, things were coming back into stock. I didn't get everything I wanted, but I was pretty happy with that. Now, 3 of the firearms I bought last year were also on my bucket list, so I double dipped. There you go. But because of that, I said, all right, I spent enough on this and ammo and accessories and other things like that. This year, why don't I take some time and actually get out and shoot them and enjoy them? And I have guns. Yeah. I have guns in my safes that have never been fired. They're still in the box, never been fired. No big deal. Well, there's something safes. If I was gonna say, probably one of the things I'd like to have before the end of the year is another safe, because all these guns, they're stacked up everywhere. They're in the way. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've tripped over the things, and they're just. They need to be put away in an organized fashion. And so it's not something I'm running out to buy tomorrow, but within the year, I'd like to pick up another safe. There's a spot, I got to measure it to make sure it'll fit, but I found the safe I wanted. And there's a spot we've got in the office upstairs that is, it's really screaming to have a safe put in there. So that's probably one of the things. I know I've said in the past, buying parts and accessories. Last year I bought a lot. But this year I might try to do that. I might try to increase my part and accessory inventory. But if I get a firearm, it's probably just going to be something where I've got the extra money and it's for the right price, or it came back into stock and I figure I'm going to jump on it before it goes out of stock again. But I'm really not. I'd like to just spend some time with the ones I have.
Oh yeah, get them out and shoot them. I mean, I'm the same way because I've got a gun channel. I'm always testing different guns on the channel, and I would buy guns earlier, especially when I was hooked up with SS Pawn. I'd buy one and I wouldn't shoot it for 2 or 3 years. I'd clean it, do a cleaning video on it. It would just sit in the safe because I'd be busy shooting other stuff or working, or doing this, making content, like taking time to do podcasts or being with family. There's only so much time I was able to dedicate to sometimes I do just take my firearms and just go to the range and shoot. I don't film everything that I shoot. I'll just take my favorite pistol out, maybe take my carry gun out, maybe get my Shadow 2 out or take my DDM4 out and just go out there and have fun, just do some shooting and just enjoying it. It's always relaxing and it's fun to be able to stay focused and try to hit your bullseyes and stuff. So yeah, I agree totally, man. So yeah, I mean, it's not like we have to go buy guns just because we're on YouTube and we're gun tubers or whatnot. A lot of it's just enjoying what you have, and I think that's a big part of it. So
I'll say this: some of the guns or accessories or things like that I've shown on my channel, whether it just be something as simple as an unboxing video or something else like that, are things I was going to buy anyhow. Seriously, I had planned to buy them, or I wanted them, or whatever it was. Maybe because I wanted to make a video, I bought it sooner, or maybe because I wanted to make 5 videos about something, this, and then the thing that goes with this, and the thing that goes with that, and that I bought them sooner than later. That's all it really does. It doesn't. I understand the stuff costs money, and different people look at money different ways, and that's fine. But pretty much nothing I buy to make my videos are things that I'm buying just to make a video. I was going to get it anyhow. So sometimes this just makes me, I shouldn't say it encourages me to spend more money faster. But sometimes that works out because I buy it and then it sits in a box for a year and I finally open it up and do a video and come to find out the price has gone way up it's out of stock everywhere. It's out of stock. And I'm going, I still have it in an unopened box. So I hope it ain't damaged. That's the only thing. You get something with a 1-year warranty and then you open it up a year and a half later and going, oh, crap.
Our Ruger SR 1911s, I got mine for $679 3 years ago, $950. They're pushing $950 locally now in 2 different stores. It's like, okay, no, it's not $1,000 1911. It's that's getting into another tier of 1911 that's starting to fringe on areas where I'd be going to something more boutique-esque for a couple hundred more. No, it's a Ruger SR 1911. I was like $950. I mean, the MSRPs on them have gone up $100 in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
so it's like
Ruger.
That is it. Yeah.
People buy names.
The point is, people, if there's a gun you want, there are guns that are going down in price. There's a lot of them getting back to MSRP and below, but if there's something out there that you've been seeing it creep up in price, whether it's milsurp or it's just, they're not going to get cheaper as time goes on. I'm already seeing the PSA AKVs, they were down to like $7.99. Now they're all pushing $9.99 if you want one. So like, it's not going to get any cheaper as time goes on. So get it now. If you want it, you're saving money down the road. Even if you don't use it for a while, make the investment and buy it, and then you'll have it. My M4A1, I got it for $1,600. Now they're over $2,000 everywhere. You can't find a M4A1 for under $2,000. I'm gonna quit talking about it. I'm just saying that there's a certain price point for it, and they're not getting any cheaper. So you're kind of missing. And then the manufacturers will start raising their MSRP, and then they go up everywhere else in price too. So that's not helping the situation.
If you set it as a goal and you say by the end of this year, or by my 40th birthday or whatever it is, I want this, I want this, I want this, and you save up, or you pay down your debt, or you do whatever it is you do to finance your firearms or accessories or ammo or whatever it is you want to finally get into reloading, whatever it is, right? If you set a goal and you set a reasonable goal, you give yourself a reasonable time span, you do some research, what does this really cost? How available is it? That sort of thing. Then just set your goal and follow it and stick to it. And it's as simple as that. If something changes in your life and it's not feasible, it's not impossible, but it's not feasible. Okay, fine. Maybe you delay it, or maybe somewhere along the line you realize this isn't worth it. I don't like this. All right, then you're not too far in on it, but just set a goal. I mean, I totally understand you with the thing with the SR 1911. I bought mine used for $700. It was in great shape, as hardly used, new used, I guess you could call it. And it came with a lot of magazines. Yeah. And a year later, I saw it in the case at Bass Pro Shop for $600. I'm going, man. But then I'm looking at the mags, right? And now, with these prices, I'm going, hey, I can laugh all the way to the bank or to the credit card statement. But everybody's got a different budget to work with, and everybody has different. Some people look at a $500 gun and go, that's too expensive. Other people look at a $1,500 gun and go, that's too cheap. So it's different for different people. But yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, is because they're not the price of Mosins continue to go up.
Even even PSA ARs, we're looking at $40 to $50 more for an upper than it was pre-pandemic. Lowers are $25 to $40 more than, because I bought all this stuff before. A lot of what I bought was 2016, 2017, 2018. And then, some of that stuff doubled in price practically during pandemic times. And it has not completely gone back to where it was before. And ammo is the same situation, ammo is one of those things where it will start to bottom out, but I think you're going to start to see it hit a low point where if it doesn't drop $1 a box in 6 months or a year, you're probably going to be stuck there for a while. So just get your ammo if you need it, because again, it can only go up with inflation, or something else can happen and it might not be on the shelves. Then you're paying even more for it. We should have bought it in the first place. So, all right, let's go and move on to single shot. Single shot, do you have any plans to pick up any fun firearms this year? Anything you want to get in 2023? It can be something new coming out or not. What are you interested in, man?
Oh yeah, there's a few of them out there. I'm still interested in that M&P 10 mil. I want to try to work towards picking that up, see how that's going to work.
Just get the high point instead. Just get the high points. Yeah.
I want to add to the surplus collection there that I've got started. I got a few nice pieces there as far as that goes, and always looking to pick up one here and there. I've always wanted a K31. I shot a buddy of mine's K31 years ago down in Georgia, and that's a nice rifle. It's a sweet rig. They've got a unique action on them, and they seem to be very accurate. So
is that the Schmidt-Ruben? Is that what I'm thinking of? The Swiss K31. Yeah.
Yep.
And remember, those at one point 8 years ago, you could get one for $300. Now they're 1,000, 1,200. I don't even know, 900.
I got one sitting in my safe that I picked up for $375, and I have probably a case and a half of GP11.
Mismatched Mosins, or serial numbers that don't match, but functional Mosins are now going for 400 on Gun Broker. Mosin and guns. Like we're not even talking like anything fancy. Not a hex, not a sniper model. Right? Sniper Mosins are pushing $1,500 now. I think a decent Mosin and guns $500. So again, it's just one of those things where if there's something you want, man, make this your year and go get it. And I mean, I'm not just saying that because I want us to support the industry. I'm just saying as a person, I'm just saying how the joy it's brought to me to be able to pick these items up and go to the range and just have fun with them, man. That's what it's about, It's about using your hobby and enjoying it. So single shot had dropped out accidentally. So Foos, we'll move on to you. DWX in your future or what? What are you going to pick up? Anything, any fun toys in that you're thinking about?
So DWX, no.
Okay.
This is really because most of my firearm purchases is towards USPSA. There's a whole bunch of flux right now in the division, so I don't want to buy anything and buy something that won't be in a division later. Because I already have my long range. I have a suppressor on the way. Maybe another suppressor and get a trust going. That may be the purchase I do instead of a firearm.
Yeah, I do want to work on that. Another safe and a suppressor. That'd be the two things I'd like to pick up because the suppressor would be about the price of a good gun. So
my safe is unfortunately.
No, I'm just saying for myself. No, you're good, man. You're set.
No. I'm just saying my safe may be moved twice this year. Yeah, it's almost a 700-pound safe, so that's going to be a pain in the butt.
Not going to be fun, man. Not going to be fun.
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm looking to buy a house this year, so it's a lot of my funds is going to there. I'm actually going to be going to less majors this year to help fund that and stuff like that. So
a question for you, Foos, and this is related to the pre-chat, which was epic. I wish I was live when we had the pre-chat. Foos, are you going to put the wooden hood over the range, over the oven? Are you going to put the wooden? Are you going to wallpaper? You going to put wallpaper up in the kitchen? Is that the plan?
I hate you.
There you go. I shouldn't suggest that because once your lady listens to this podcast, she'll get the latest issue of Food Magazine, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, here's the top 10 trends for the kitchen this year." I love to cook, by the way, just as a heads up.
I guarantee she would not go for that.
Come on, man. Everything is going cork this year. Cork is going to be the hot material to have in your kitchen this year. Everybody wants things. They even have an apron made out of cork. I don't know why, but they do. So it's all right. Let's not make me deviate this from being a gun
That
show.
won't happen. I guarantee that it won't happen.
Yeah, but you point something out here, Foos, that's important. It's not always about just getting the guns. There's a lot of things that go along with the guns. A lot of us like to reload, or there's a lot of support equipment that we use, or there's a good safe, or maybe there's a good optic you want to get, or maybe you want to pick up something else that's kind of related to it. It doesn't always have to be a gun. There's a lot of things that we pick up too that are necessary consumables for the hobby, for the craft. All right, and Foos, are there any new guns coming out at all that spark your interest at all? Is there anything out there that kind of you're thinking, I'd like to pick up, like any kind of carbines or rifles or anything you just love to add to the collection? Revolvers, maybe? Yeah.
I have 4 ARs. I have 2 AK-74s, 2 AK-47s. I have actually, I think I would like to have a Japanese rifle, one that's actually fireable, because the one I have,
Hirosaka.
Yeah, the one I have is Type 38, and it blows primers. I probably just need it. I'm thinking the firing pin's set too deep, but I'm not 100% sure.
Can you adjust it like the Mosin bolt, where you can turn the screw and it brings back the firing pin when it
I haven't looked. I've owned this rifle now for like 3 or 4 years. Put 2 rounds. I actually put 1 round down it. Figured out it did that. Pulled a bullet, so just primer only, and it still punctured the primer. So I'm thinking it's firing pin. I just haven't done anything because I want an example at that time, and because I had both my grandfathers were in World War II. I want an example of each major country's primary rifle.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And
from different theaters of conflict, that's what you're going to collect.
And I have that. I mean, I don't have anything from China, but it's good.
So you pick up something Norinco along the way or something. Maybe get yourself an SKS or something, or
Well, I mean, I have an SKS, but that wasn't Chinese used during the war.
Okay, good point. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, whatever. It's here or there. I have an example. I'd like to have a firing example, but it's not huge on my priority list. Just honestly, just get better at shooting. Really concentrate on my dry fire. Have better quality dry fire. Not only and up my dry fire, but be able to look at a spot and get the sights exactly where I want them, like 95% of the time. Because right now I'm probably 80-ish% of the time. And that's, get that extra 10% is going to be a lot of time behind the gun, a lot of trial and error. So.
Oh, yeah. And again, for people that are joining in late, Foos is a competitive shooter, so that's what he's talking about. But anybody should really know their weapon and know it well and practice with it and go to the range and enjoy it. Get out, get some fresh air, get away from the computer screen and the TV, and go focus on some paper targets or some steel targets and just, enjoy it, man. For me, it's a very relaxing exercise. It takes focus and concentration, but I can get away from everything for a while, so yeah.
That, and I've taken over USPSA division at my local range, so I am inherently going to be doing more because I'm on set. Every Tuesday I set up matches. Starting in April, every month I'm going to be setting up 4, 5, 6 stages for monthly matches, dealing with board, doing stuff like that. So I'm deeper into the gun, just in with the club. So
cool. All right, now Hillbilly Up, American Hillbilly posted a message here. He goes, "My new gun wants are the High Point E cannon. I guarantee you, I'm feeling it. They're going to announce the YC9 Gen 2 at SHOT Show. So I think we're going to see now that
Gen 1 come out.
What's that?
Did they even have a Gen 1?
Gen 1 was just the regular 9C or whatever it was pistol that had E cannon stenciled on the side of it. That was the Gen 1. So it was just a marketing joke. They don't even take themselves serious when they do it. They never went out there and said, they actually did it as a joke. I mean, H&K, I think there was something with H&K and High Point kind of having fun with each other. And they don't even take themselves seriously. They're a good gun company, but they just put it out there as just a joke. Like, get it now because it's limited edition, right? But anyway, so Hillbilly Up, I like that. I think we're going to see that Gen 2 popping up at SHOT Show this year. Now that the slide's out for the 10mm, the Gen 2 9mm used the same slide. The threaded barrels are now in production for the Gen 1s. You can get threaded barrel High Points. And then they're also talking about having some sort of optics mounting system on the top of the pistol. They have a removable rear plate, essentially, mounting system, and they're going to make optics that you can put on your High Point. So Hillbilly Up, what about you? You said the 1095 FTE, that's the 9mm High Point carbine in flat dark earth. That's the one that you want?
Yeah, kind of the tannish, light
it's
tan.
Cool I want one in OD green, but I want to get, if I can get a 10mm in OD green, that'd be cool. But I don't know what they do for 10mm finishes. I think they do camo finishes, but
yeah. And I'd like to really dig in. I don't have any suppressors or anything, and that's something I would like to check into a little bit more and everything. Which I know that you can have a few more problems, maybe needing a stronger spring, and just different stuff. But it's something that I think I would like to check into a little bit more and get into.
Yeah, I want to get one in 30 cal so I can use it with my Ruger Ranch bolt action and all my threaded 9mm that, if they use the same thread pitch and AKs and stuff. It'd be cool having for me, a 30 cal suppressor would be the way to go. 308 bolt action rifles,
That's the suppressor I have coming in. I have a Dead Air Sandman S coming in. I'm hoping it'll be cleared and in my possession next month.
How many months total has that been for you now since you paid for it?
I either got it got to my FFL in either late June or early July.
So 7 months wait time. I thought it was supposed to be sped up because of the e-filing and all that crap,
I heard the e-files are coming back in 8 months. A buddy of mine or acquaintance of mine got one in March, and he got his in December.
So like when it first started, I think when it was new, I think there was like a 90-day turnaround. It was amazing, or 60 or 90. But I think that just everything that's happened, a lot more people are, and suppressors are just gaining more in popularity. You're seeing them a lot more on YouTube. They're being marketed a lot more. There's new models coming out. There's different price points. They're still expensive. You're still looking at, you can argue price whatever you want, but I'd say a decent 30 cal suppressor anywhere between $500 and $1,200, $700 and $1,200, depending on who you go with and what material it's made out of and how big it is and what kind of options it offers and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. So American Hillbilly, I'm probably going to be joining you on that one. We might have to do a little Hillbilly Redneck meetup where I'll bring the 10mm High Points and you get your 9mm High Points. We'll do a little shooting together. Take out some. We'll do a white claw hunt 2023. We'll go get our white claw permits. We'll go take out some white claws. When I say take out, I literally mean shoot, not drink. I don't drink while I'm at the range. Now, I like that you're going to go with an AR-9 also. So, kind of that idea of having that common caliber across the board and getting a couple guns. And then hopefully the Yi cannon, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. That magazine could be a little bit different. They were talking about doing like a staggered mag to up the capacity on it. At least when they showed the prototype, it wasn't going to be the same, a single stack mag for the Gen 2s. They were finally going to get away from it because all they had to do was change like the clearance inside the grip and they could actually use a double stack mag. The width, I guess, didn't matter apparently for their magazine well. So that may happen. I don't know. We'll find out. Next week at SHOT Show, they're going to be there. I can guarantee you they're going to show off. They're going to give us an update on the Gen 2. It's probably going to be coming out next summer. I'm feeling it. I can already predict these things. I'm good at it.
I wonder if they'll have that so the Gen 2 could be also use the single stack.
Possibly. It kind of depends on the underneath, in the pistol grip. Like maybe they only have to modify the width of the pistol grip itself at the bottom, and then they modify the inside of the grips. They just the grips are like hollowed out more, so there's more room for the mag instead of having these thick grips at the single stack channel. So they were saying it wouldn't be hard for them to do because they had showed off I think a 14 round or 15 round mag. So it's if they would just take Glock mags, it would just end it all together. But they'd have to do a whole redesign.
Whatever they come out with, it'll keep. Is it M Carbo that makes stuff for the other guns and this and that, and so they'll get it figured out. But, and I'm always also just in the look for my love for revolvers and lever guns. So that's all.
Oh man, don't even start me on that. I've had to tell myself I don't need another 30-30. I want one just as a beater, a non-color case hardened finish, just a blued one. And that's the other thing too. Let me rant for a second. Ruger, would you please, for God's sake, get the 336s in production and get them out there? You've been teasing us with these 4570s. Sad thing about those too is those are like new cars. There's a market adjustment that people are tacking on those Ruger guide gun 4570s and those SBLs and stuff. It's insane. They're going for 200 over MSRP and people are paying those prices for it. The asking price on all the auctions are crazy. So it sucks because, these Marlin 336s, you could find them at any gun shop across the country. And I get it. They disappeared and now they got to get back into production. But it's been like 3 years now since Ruger took over Marlin. And it's time to get those out there. But, I guarantee they're going to match Henry's price point. You're going to be looking at probably $1,000, if not more, for a 336 when they come out. Good luck trying to find one for MSRP. I mean, good gun stores like Shields, they'll get them in and sell them at MSRP. But the second they hit the floor, they told me when they get a Henry 3030 in at Shields, it's gone within 2 hours. They put it out, gone. People just snag it. They've got other Henrys there. They've got, Golden Boys and Big Boys or whatnot. They've got a bunch of different models. But if you want the 3030, it's a hot one. It's gone. I mean, and I had an opportunity to buy one, but I told myself I got to wait because there's other stuff I'm thinking about right now. And I've already got a 3030. If I would just take it out and shoot it, not worried about it, then it wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, man, we might have to do a summer meetup and have a High Point weekend. So
you bet. Yeah,
High Point marathon. What's that?
I don't have is the 357 lever gun. That's something I'd really like. And
see, then you got to get a revolver to go with it. You got to get a Ruger GP.
Well, I have a revolver, so that's
yeah. There you go. That's right. If you got a gun and there's a rifle version of it, you can get it's your duty to have one that matches that pistol. You should. And if we can take the same mags, that's even better. So we're encouraging you and telling you to go out there and buy something, whether it's a Ruger PCC or some sort of AR-9 that's Glock compatible or whatever trips your trigger. You should have a rifle that goes with your pistol or revolver, right? Yeah. All right. Defense Dad, we got to wake you up. I know you're tired, buddy. What are you thinking about picking up this year? You got any plans or are you going to hold off on the gun purchases? What's the Defense Guy going to do in the 2023?
If I can find the right deal, there's some ones I really want. I still want that. I still want the right model Buckmark. I really want Rossi R92 in stainless and 357. Those are the only two on the huge bucket list. Eventually I'd like to start my movie gun collection. But for this year, if I can find those two guns and then just build my ammo stock back up.
Yeah, that's another part of it too. Is we bought stuff. A lot of us bought stuff either when it was cheap or expensive, and we're starting to drain those supplies, and we're having to restock now. And luckily, bulk purchases are starting to go down in price. The problem I have is after the cost of shipping and sales tax, I can buy it locally for the exact same price. It does me no good to have to wait for a case to show up on my front door that I may or may not have to sign for, and hopefully porch pirates don't get it, although it doesn't really happen where I live. But that's just it. Is these bulk prices are wonderful online until you add it to your cart, and if they don't give you free shipping, you tack another $40 on it for shipping. Well, that's $2 a box if you're getting 20 boxes of 9. That then pushes it up to basically $14.99 a box or $13.99 a box, which a lot of us can get locally. For brass or aluminum.
I've been running into that myself. You see these bulk prices like, well, it's $12 a box, but then by the time you add shipping and everything, it's like, well, it's back up to what I can just buy it locally for.
Yeah, and there was one company that a local group here ran across. They were selling 115 grain 9 mil for I think it was like $220 1,000, but then shipping that 1,000 was like $80.
Yeah, and shipping prices aren't going down either. So it's just yeah. And I refuse and then the other option is, okay, you can go steel case, but I just, as a personal principle, I will not pay 30% more for a case of steel case ammo than what I paid for that same steel case ammo 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not going to pay $379 for a case of Tula 9mm or a case of Tula 223 Remington where you was paying $179 or $189 for it. I'll just go get brass, screw it at that point, Yeah. So because the steel case is always the option. Like AK ammo has gone up like $100 a case where we were a year or two ago. We're looking at $349 for a case of Tula or Wolf right now when we used to get it for $249 or less, $200. So, all right. So Defense Dad, you got yours out there. Get your movie gun collection going. I see a Walther in your future if you start your movie gun collection. Bond, yeah. James Bond. Yeah.
Yeah, but not the one you're thinking. I'm not.
You're thinking of the P99, aren't you?
Yep.
That's a good gun, man. I had the SW99. I had the Smith & Wesson variant of it. So, yeah. And they're what, $500, $600? Is that what they sell for if you can find them online? They're not that expensive.
Yeah,
they haven't really gone up in price much. There's usually a couple for sale on Gunbroker. What movie was that in? Because that would have been what, in 1999 or 2000? It was
I forget the exact movie, but Pierce Brosnan used it in a couple movies. But then that's what Daniel Craig started off with in his James Bond movies.
I didn't even realize that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's a fun gun. It's got a weird trigger. It's an unusual kind of double action staging trigger or something that they have on it. But it also inspired the Canik series of pistols too. It's the same design essentially in the Caniks. You see the lineage in most of your Canik TP series pistols and so on. So,
yep,
cool. And last but not least, Firefighter. What's coming up for you? What are you going to pick up? What are your plans for this year? What do you want to buy?
I sent you a link, Travis.
Uh-oh. Well, I got to know, did you send it to...
It's in the private chat.
Oh, the private chat. Okay, do you want me to show it or what?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be heavily blaming Night Strike for this once I have the money saved up for it.
Squib, you can probably attest to this. And Squib, can you explain this to me with these children? Why do they want to buy these? What? That thing runs premium, bro. That thing runs premium. I guess if you've got the budget for the ammo, then you can afford it.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to go down the... Yeah, okay. Oh.
Dude, okay, let me just say right now, 5.7 is a great round, all right? I shot a PS90, loved it, awesome. But if you're down for a buck around, hey, you do you. I'm not going to... Go right ahead. Enjoy life. Have fun. Of course, I'm the guy talking about a $1,500 AR, but still, that's not the point. That's a great deal. Don't get me wrong. That is a wonderful package. Look at that. You've got the threaded barrel. You've got the suppressor hide sights. You've got the wonderful optic on there. Sniper green, automatically going to make me want to buy one. All right.
Man, you guys talking about like all this stuff. This winter, I bought 4 rear sights for my gun at $100 a piece. I bought front sights for them.
So these are iron sights, people. These are not red dots. These are iron sights. Yeah.
Iron sights. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And then front sights, it was 40 per. I bought grips and base pads together was $500. So I spent probably about $1,000 in just accessories for my 2 competition pistols for this year.
Man.
Wow. But it's either that or if my local shop up the road still has it, they have a Walter P99 in stock.
Ooh.
So I mean, either
I don't know if they're still making them new. You can still find them new. They're still out there. You can find some in very good condition. I mean, I highly doubt. I mean, the ones I've seen have all been in really good shape. So tell me something, Firefighter. What is it about this gun that draws you to it? I want to understand this passion you young people have for this 5.7 pistol. Is it because does it remind you of a sports car? Or what is it about this gun that makes you want to get it? What is it about the 5.7 round that makes you? Is this from a video game, from a movie? What is it that drives you about the 5.7?
TV show, Travis. TV show. 2 TV
Which
shows.
TV show?
Oh, you mean Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Stargate, because of the P90.
Okay.
And then the 2004 remake of Battlestar Galactica, because in season 2 they switched to the 5.7.
The FN 5.7 pistol.
Yep.
And then Hydra, that's what Hydra agents carried a lot of the time on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you guys ever watched that, it was the 5.7. I don't know if they had P90s. I think they might have, but they always had the FN pistols. Yeah.
You can't remake Battlestar Galactica. That new crap is rubbish.
It wasn't that bad. Dude, the one with Edward James Olmos in it, I thought it was a pretty good series. And here's the thing though, Squib. I was so young when it came out. I don't remember the original series. I had a few toys from it, but I never saw it because it was... I was like 4 or 5 maybe when it came out, or maybe I was just born. I don't even know.
So when the original Battlestar Galactica happened, like I wasn't even around. So whenever the second one came out, I thought that was the first one. They're like, oh, this is a throwback. Also, a bunch of people talked about it later. It's like, oh, it's such a throwback to the first one. And I was like, what? They came out with another one?
Yeah.
I used to watch it in 77, 78, and 80. There's nothing like the original. People can say
I was filling my diapers in 77, 78.
Part of the reason it went off air for a year and then it came back and flopped was they were paying $1 million an episode to make
my
this, which was
wow,
unheard of
back
in the late
God.
70s. They didn't go back to
Dude.
making a sci-fi show at
Yeah.
$1 million an episode until 87 when the Next Generation came out. I won't even watch the new crap. It's so woke. No way. Nope.
Well,
Firefighter, you'd like Buck Rogers in the 21st century, probably.
well, the funny thing is I own both the 04 remake and the original on DVD. And I might be hated on for this. I do like the 04 remake a little bit better than the original.
Amen, brother.
See, and I can't have an opinion on because I never saw the original. I did watch all of the 04, so
I
Because the
agree
04
with
one
him.
was
I agree with
perfect
Hillbilly
balance.
about the Buck Rogers, though. Growing up in the late 70s, early 80s as a young boy and those outfits on there, great show.
Oh, yeah.
Firefighter, I hope they feed you to the Daggets.
I do have a question, though. I've never shot the 5.7. What's a comparison then to like caliber, recoil, and stuff?
P90, like a 22 LR or less. Like in the P90, it's like a little tiny piece, like a nail gun. It's like beep, 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 beep. I mean, you don't even. I actually I range tested one, shot the heck out of one. Stan Lowe gave me like 300 rounds of ammo for it. He's like, just shoot whatever you want. I'm like, oh my God. That's probably the most expensive video I didn't pay for. So
that, and with that PSA Rock, the whole idea of having 23+1 rounds.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's going to do what it needs to do. The other thing too is hopefully maybe, PSA will get their own 5.7 into production, their own 5.7 ammo, because you're either stuck with Federal or FN and then whatever else you can find. And I shouldn't say it's a buck a round. I think it's more like 50 cents a round. So it's what, $35 for a box of 50.
It's probably cheaper than what I'm paying for 7.7 Japanese and 7.62 by 38.
Yeah, but 7.7 Japanese, you can get 30-06 30-06 brass and remake it.
Well, if he doesn't reload, then that's just a whole other rabbit hole. But you got a good point, though. You got a good point.
I mean, that's one reason I'm wanting a 7.7 is because I can go ahead and do that.
well, then Poos, you need to take a trip out to Ohio because all the gun shows around here, they're showing up everywhere. Type 99s. Really? Yeah.
I want that. I want to start going to gun shows again.
So now the last question I have is, we're all going to age another year this year. What you want to get, or the purchases that you're making between now and say just years from now, have you changed at all? Kind of what you get? Are you still kind of buying the same stuff, or is your attitude changing? I know for me, just as a side note, like optics, I'm not buying inexpensive optics anymore. I'm getting good clear glass that works with me because my eyes aren't getting any better. And then again, I'm just getting the bucket list guns. So let's start this discussion, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So firefighter, as you get older, like the guns you wanted as a kid versus the guns you want to get now, have you changed at all in how you feel about things? Are you maybe going to go for like more premium, higher end stuff, or just get what you love? What are your plans, firefighter? Have you noticed a change in yourself as you've gotten older?
Believe it or not, I went from wanting all the new fancy, crazy tech guns to just give me surplus.
Okay, you're like a mini Foos. All right, so Foos, what about you, Foos? Have you always wanted this kind of theater of conflict collection?
No.
Going on?
Well,
no.
So ish. So whenever my first my mother's pop died, I was too young. But what really drove the wanting to have something from each military power is whenever my other grandfather died, because back in college I had an opportunity to pick up an M1 Garand for like about $400.
Okay.
And I didn't, but I had asked my grandfather if I ever picked one up, if he'd want to shoot it again. And he said, yeah. Well, that was years before he passed. And I remembered that conversation during his funeral service. And I'm like, well, I'm going to get all this. So I went ahead and did that. I was one of the, kind of newfangled stuff whenever I was younger. And now I kind of want something that's interesting. Like I have the K31, I have the 1889 Schmidt Rubin that you have to hand load for. I have the Moss 36. I have a little bit of weird stuff, but I kind of want more weird stuff because, you know, and I was in a software for 16 years, and knowing that there's more than one way to quote unquote skin the cat, there's more than one way to do what a firearm needs to do. And I find that extremely interesting on how people solve the same problems in different ways and how it's based upon the countries on how to do that. Like the Schmidt Rubens, if you think about it, they're a gas port, a rod, and a spring away from semi-auto.
True.
Because you already had that straight pullback. Like, I find that extremely interesting. And that was in 1880s. So you start thinking about that and you dive deep into some of these other firearms. That's what interests me. Like, I'll buy it, I'll look at it, and they'll be safe queens. I'll shoot them, you know, every couple of years just to shoot them. But just, you know, just the information and knowledge of what this guy was thinking. And, you know, yeah, you can read and everything, but it's nothing like having it in your hands and playing with it. That's what really drives me right now.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, and it's neat. I mean, and the fact we have access to all this stuff. I mean, and you can find it with a fingertips keystroke. You can search it and find exactly what you want. That really makes it fun too. So, all right, Squib, what about you? Has your personal philosophy changed as you've gotten older about the guns that you acquire? Are you tinkering more in different areas than maybe you were 30 years ago, 20 years ago? Or have you always kind of been the same kind of, I want something from this kind of category of firearm, like a milsurp guy only? Or do you kind of have your phases, Squib? What about you?
I've gone through phases. When I was younger, I wanted more tactical crap. And then I kind of... I
think we all have that Magpul phase.
Well, I wanted guns from certain eras, whether they were reproductions or originals. And as I started to kind of open my mind a little bit more and get a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned, I realized that there's all kinds of things out there that I like. And you always hear me say, I don't like the new stuff. Every now and then something new comes out. Usually it's ammo or accessories, but something new comes out that kind of grabs my attention. But for the most part, there's so many guns I've wanted since, I started getting gun catalogs in the 80s, right? Since then, right? And so many that I've passed up on that now their price has gone up to the point where I'm going, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Now that I'm older and, I'm kind of on the backside of life here. I'm not going out tomorrow, but I ain't getting any younger. Screw it. I mean, I'm not leaving my kids an inheritance. I gave them enough life skills that they can make their own way in life. So, really, that my inheritance will be the guns. But I figure I might as well get some nice stuff. But that doesn't mean that every week I'm going to run out and max out the credit card, or every week I'm going to a gun show to go find this whatever. But my price point for the longest time was $500. If I was going to spend more than $500, it better be a good reason. When I got that SR 1911 for $700, that was one of the times that I broke that. But it's like, I finally
that was one of the most expensive guns I ever bought. It's like, God, this one was $700, $679. Oh my God.
But I've been wanting a 1911 since the mid 80s. Why haven't I got off my butt and done this? Right. And that's just it. Not getting any younger. And eventually my price point became $1,000. For me to go over $1,000, it better be something that I really want. Now that threshold's about 12. So it'll be interesting to see if over the next few years it goes up to, say, 15 or something like that. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't buy a $4,000 gun or a $400 gun. If I want it, I want it. I think I just, I guess there's an extra factor in there that, hey, I've got a lot less time left on this planet. Might as well get it. And really, that is truly the only inheritance my kids are going to get. They're going to get my guns. And I raised my kids to appreciate them. I raised my kids to understand them, understand our rights, understand responsible gun ownership, and they really like it. As a matter of fact, it's our family thing, right? My wife was never into them before. Now she likes them and things like that. So honestly, would you rather get left a bunch of money that the lawyers and the government's just going to get anyhow, or would you rather get some guns that maybe they don't make anymore, or this thing's quadrupled or more in value and it's impractical for you right now to buy? Well, not to mention now it's a family heirloom, right?
There you go. Exactly.
So I start thinking about that. I start thinking about what I'm leaving my kids behind and the fact that I ain't getting any younger. Screw it. It's just money. Seriously. I don't like it when somebody takes my money from me, but if I give it out, that's kind of a willing choice. So it'll be interesting to see if my threshold goes up.
Well, I'll try not to suggest too many expensive Italian rifles if at all possible.
That's something that we could do or have a good discussion about is we set, like, let's say $750. Like, what was your first gun over that? Or, let's say $1,000, whatever monetary it is, and say, what was your first firearm over that and why? And, like, what was your justification of doing it?
Foos, you just gave me next week's topic. I'm going to jot that down.
That'd be a good one. Also,
I won't be here next week. I got a match.
We'll be here in spirit. So, all right.
Just send Travis your list. Also, I got to take off, so I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Bye, Alicia. Thanks for having me on the show, Travis.
Eat a salad since Rob's not here. Eat a salad. Eat a salad and some venison.
No, go for that fast food.
Just remember, Squib, buckwheat and sesame. That's going to be the hot 2 ingredients this year. So that was our pre-chat discussion.
Yeah.
Better go get some. Better start making videos on it, because that's all that YouTube's going to favor in the algorithm. So there you go.
All right. See you guys around the interweb.
All right, later.
Have a good one, buddy.
All right. American Hillbilly, what about you? As you've gotten older, has kind of your philosophy or thoughts or desires on the guns that you buy changed at all? Are you finding yourself kind of going towards one particular genre of firearm or one certain type of line you want to focus on? Or have you just always kind of been buy it because it's this price or buy it because it looks like this? American Hillbilly, what would you say? What's kind of your philosophy as you've gotten older?
Well, something also you got to understand too is somebody, my age or even older, around here, like growing up, pretty much you had your hunting rifles, your shotguns, your dirt rifles,
good revolver.
Like that. Revolver. And so like, a gun back then would have been something fancy, would have been like an M1 Garand or an SKS, And as far as like pistols, really, like my family and just friends, people had pistols, like some revolvers or this and that, but there wasn't really much of a use for carry conceal, because like your rifles was hanging up in your back window of your truck or whatever, and so over this time now, concealed and carries, a little more, important, and then, the nice automatics, so, I mean, it's really kind of went from just the old wooden stock type, guns to more tactical, automatics, stuff like that. And it is nice to have a fancy $high gun. There's no doubt about that. I kind of like mid-range, or even on the lower end sometimes, just having different calipers, different models, stuff like that. And, we have a lot of friends and family that shoot. And so, it's nice to have, a few other guns, for people to shoot and that you can enjoy.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. No, that's cool. And it's interesting, like a lot of what we were raised with and how we kind of change as we get a little bit older and what appeals to us more and what we see in movies and video games and TV shows that kind of make us want to go get one of those, or try one or rent them at the range or whatnot. So, and then again, sometimes it's all about price. It's just, how much I want to spend at that time. For a long time, I would always try to keep my gun purchases, $350 or below. And like, Squib, I $679 for my SR 1911. And then after that, I got my Henry, and that was like $800. And then I bought my M4A1, and that was $1,600. It's like, okay, when am I going to start to pull back on this a little bit? I'm allowing myself a little bit more. No, I think you just you do what works best for you and what works for your budget.
And I think that's why I'm really wanting to get into more of suppressed shooting. Something like that growing up, that's only something you've seen on TV, and so.
I'll tell you what, first time I ever got to shoot a gun with a suppressor on it, Foos can attest to this. When we were at Thunder on the Prairie last summer, shooting that 308 with a suppressor on it, it cut the recoil in half. It cut the impulse, the concussion off the front of the barrel in half. You literally could shoot that thing all day. It made it go from like feeling like a 308 to like a 223. It blew my mind how much of a difference that suppressor made on the end of that barrel. I was like, wow, this is legit.
I had so much fun doing that. And one day I shot like we went through 278 rounds.
That was on we were shooting Stan's. Weren't we shooting Stan's rifle originally? I can't remember. What was the suppressor situation?
No.
Was it
no. So it was Stan's suppressor on my
suppressor on
my rifle.
Okay.
On my Hawa.
Your Hawa. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I had like shooting Stan's suppressor. That's what made me go over the top. So wait. So when was Thunder on the Prairie last year?
It was in June. Like first week in June last year.
Okay, so a couple weeks after that is whenever I went and said, actually coming home, I'm getting one. I just don't know which one it was. And a couple weeks later is whenever I got mine. So, yeah.
Cool.
Like I have the muzzle devices on 3 rifles. Oh, Travis. My PTR 91.
Yes.
Suppress that.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
If I get it, I'm gonna have to.
Dude, that's gonna be like 7 feet long. Do you realize that?
Oh, that's gonna be no. Think of all the back pressure and how far the brass is gonna fly now.
Dude, that'd be an interesting shot. I know I want to try it on my C308. C308.
Well, no. You don't have the right muzzle device.
Does it just screw on the threads? Well, yeah, you have to take off.
I'm not going to have that adapter. It's going to be
okay.
Yeah, it's the same man.
No, I know you have to have an adapter for it. I'm just saying that I'd like to put that's why I want to get a 30 cal suppressor so I can, because I've got a lot of guns that it would work on that I think would be fun to try out with it.
So
cool.
That's why I'm thinking 9mm to start out with. Something that would go between different ones and just go from there. And
I might have to get a 300 blackout now.
Ooh, there you go.
Dang it!
Short barrel,
AR style,
8.5-inch barrel, 300 blackout.
Yeah,
dude, you got the suppressor. Oh man, that's your home defense grid right there. That's right. That's right. All right, so let's move on. Defense Dad, what about you? How has your philosophy on purchasing firearms changed as you've gotten older? Because you're one of the late bloomers to the firearm community in terms of just your gun ownership and what you purchased and what you've acquired. So, Defense Dad, what would you say? How's your kind of your idea changed on guns? Or do you kind of have phases that you go through like me, or what?
I'm kind of passive. Like when I first started, like I was buying everything because I had nothing, and I'm to the point now where like I don't really get too excited about the latest and greatest polymer 9mm. I've got enough 9mm handguns that I don't, unless something really cool comes along, not too excited. I'm kind of getting more into I don't know that I'll ever be too much into milsurp, but I really like lever guns. I like kind of FUD guns.
Okay, there's something wrong with that.
Partly because
I'm a woodworker,
so wood grain
guns. Yeah. No, that's all right.
And I'm not one that's too excited in getting all these obscure calibers just because I like to shoot. I like to shoot a lot. I'm not into reloading, so I'm going to stick to the cheaper calibers to shoot.
What's commercially available and what falls within your budget, Exactly. Cool, man. All right, and last but not least, single shot. What about you, man? As you've gotten older, how have your firearms acquisitions changed? Your tastes for what you purchased changed as time has gone on?
Yeah, it has. I've gotten more and more into the AR platform. I've added 3 or 4 in that category, and black powder I've always been into. I've just not picked up too many of the different type of weapons. and lever actions. I've got a 730 Waters 94 model 94. I can't remember what the other designation was. ADL or something like that. Real nice. I picked that up quite some time ago, and I've got to get that out on the bench. Finish zeroing it in. I've got some brass and some ammo now for it. So, and I have a problem with my right eye being able to see iron sights, so I had to scope that rifle. I know a lot of folks don't like to do that, but when you can't
here's the
see
thing, man.
iron sights, you have to do something.
I did that on my 30-30, and it looks just wrong. But if it's a tool and it needs to be functional and it needs to humanely help me harvest my game, that's it. If I don't have it, I'm going to be using these semi-buckhorn sights that I suck with. And if I have an optic, I can get what I need and drop it, and that's it. It's over, So, I mean, sometimes it's going to be function over form, I guess you could say, function over fashion,
Yeah.
I want to enjoy the 30-30. I love the way it works. I love the heritage behind that round, but I also want to be able to see my target. And I'm sorry, I'm in my mid-40s now, and I'm noticing that I'm borderline bifocals at this point. I've been staring at screens my whole life.
I've had to do that. Yeah. I've had to do that ever since my right eye went to pieces.
Yeah.
I've had to go from right-handed archery to left-handed archery. I've had to go from right-handed iron sights to scopes and use the left eye for the iron sights. So there's been a lot of changes in my life as far as that was concerned. And I'm always advancing my knowledge on gunsmithing and stuff like that, always picking up from here and there different types of information. So I can handle small jobs there at the house. I got a drill press now, and I've got a mini lathe, bench lathe. So adding knowledge on it as far as that goes. My biggest thing that I want to add on to is my milsurp stuff. And it's just getting the right piece at the right time for the right price. It's pretty hard to get all three of those factors put together. So
every year milsurps go up in price. Like
they
Carcanos.
do.
Carcanos are now $200. They were $99 last year. $79 at one point. You couldn't give them away. Now people are buying them, and you really can't even get the ammo. I'm sorry, unless you don't reload it. It's very hard to find Carcano ammo.
Yeah,
even if you reload it.
Does PPU still make Carcano ammo?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They do.
But I mean, trying to get it, it's just like, good luck.
So yeah,
it's the unicorn.
Yeah. They still make it, but they make it with taper bullet. Where Carcano, the 6.5, was always a round nose even through World War II.
Yeah.
Okay, so take it back. J&G Sales does have it, $50 for a box of 20 if you want Prairie Partisan, if you want PPU. And there's also Steinel, is another company that makes it. Three very different rounds. 123 grain jacketed soft point, 160 grain round nose rifle, and 139 FMJs. So I take it back. Okay, so you can find it. There was a time for about a year or two when everybody was buying them, you couldn't find Carcano ammo. Yeah.
The 160 is the most accurate.
Okay.
Most period correct.
Yeah.
I should say that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had to do with my Moss, my 4956 Moss. I had to do some research back on that cartridge. And there's a book that they put out, Military Small Arms of the World. And that lists a lot of information about the old calibers and the original loadings that was put up for that caliber and for that particular style of rifle. I didn't know it, but that rifle favors 139 grain bullet instead of 150 or 165, whatever the case may be. And
but
that
of course
is
you can
very accurate rifle. That's a very accurate rifle. Heavy.
Yeah. I have a Moss 30. I have a Moss 36, and it favors the exact same round, and it's still it's very accurate. But you can load them with 100 and 150 grain or 147, whatever. But
Yeah.
Cool.
it's still.
Yep. No, I've had good luck with it. It's a nice one.
Let's see. We covered everybody now. Defense Ed, I got to you, right? We're all set. Everybody had a chance to speak about their change in their gun tastes and stuff. I think so.
I think so, yep.
And Defense Ed, I did look up the P99s. They're $6.99 brand new on Gunbroker, but you can still get new ones. I think they still make them. I think it's still on Walther's catalog if you look them up online. So I think it is still in production, so it's still out there. But yeah. It's the last thing I want to show you real quick. Maybe you haven't heard about this. This is totally random, but I'm just throwing this out there. I saw a video on this last night, the new Rock Island Armory 5.0 ST. It's kind of cool. It is a 9mm, kind of borrowing some of that CZ look going on there. What it is it basically has a squared off barrel. I don't know if I can get a good zoom in for you guys or not, but there it is. So instead of having a round barrel, it's got a square barrel. The entire slide rides on the square barrel, and the barrel actually doesn't tilt. And it has a unique recoil system on it, which I thought was kind of cool. 17 plus 1.
How does it lock up?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the system is, how it actually functions, but it does not have I think it has maybe a different kind of cam system in it or something, but it's not a Browning action. According to what the guy said on the video last night, there's only a few videos on it on YouTube. I like to know how this happens. Some of these small YouTube channels get these new guns before they even hit the market. It's kind of interesting that they can pull that off. Maybe they're just in contact with the right people. Because like sometimes you'll get a gun channel with like 1,500 people, 1,500 subscribers, and then they've got this new gun that's not even out yet. It's like, how do they do that? But they say this is an incredibly flat shooting gun because there's nothing tilting up and down. It's straight back the whole time. The guy just says it's like a nail gun in the video, and it's not a Rock Island Armory video. It's an independent just gun channel. They've got a 4.5-pound trigger pull, which every single time he did the trigger pull, it came out exactly the same. So it's got a very nice trigger. It's all metal except for like a polymer wraparound on the frame for the grip, but it's metal all the way around. Weighs like 3 pounds, so it's not. Wow. I mean, to me, this is like a Shadow 2 kind of competitor. Shadow 2 style. It's kind of going after maybe the same customer, but it's only $998 for this one. So MSRP is $1,000. There's a lot of $1,000 guns coming out right now. That's another rant for another day, but yeah.
You said it's an internal hammer.
Yeah, it does have an internal hammer. Yep, it is hammer fired. Yep. I'm trying to see if I have any more information on it. It does have a Dawson precision front sight. They're making it, there's a special edition. I think they're making it with like an optics cut on the back and then a standard version, which has the adjustable rear sight. It weighs 2.47 pounds. Cerakote. And the guy explains it in more detail. I can't even remember what the channel is, but if you type in RIA 5.0, it pops up. There's a lot of videos on it. I think maybe they call it the 5.0 because the barrel length is 5 inches. Yeah, 4.91 inches they round up on it. So basically a 5-inch barrel, essentially. Full pick rail, full-size pistol. Nice looking gun. I mean, I'd love to shoot in it. It's a beautiful gun. The price, does put it comparable with like a used Shadow 2 or other CZs that are out there because it kind of has that CZ style where the slide is in the frame. But something to check out. I think you're going to see that advertised this week. So I know SHOT Show's coming out. So expect a lot of new releases to come out this week and next weekend. Maybe I've already got the topic for next week figured out, but maybe we'll have a discussion on stuff that we saw this week at SHOT Show that debuted that maybe caught our attention. So I'll be kind of watching those videos to see what people have to say. And I'm sure I'll miss something, but then maybe Ruger will get that message out there about those 336s and let us know if they're going to come out. So that'd be cool. I definitely want to get one. Like I said, I've been holding off from buying other lever guns because of it. And I'm just waiting for them to announce when they come out there. So Sam of Anarchy says, it looks like a metal flashy version of a Glock, but it's a CZ. I know it's kind of like maybe like what High Point could evolve into. I don't know. It just kind of has that blocky, kind of cool look to it, but it does have a different recoil system. It's different than just a traditional guide rod and spring
system.
It's a straight
blowback.
Well, and it looks like it's almost got the 1911 grip angle.
I mean, so pick that up.
Go back
show that
real
again.
quick. Yeah.
Show that again.
There's actually,
if it's a heavy spring,
yeah.
If it's a heavy spring, you could probably almost go blowback with that size of.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. So it says RVS recoil system, engineered to maximize barrel mass and linear movement for super soft recoil, buttery smooth trigger for greater accuracy in rapid fire situations, and a 2-piece modular grip.
2-piece modular grip.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's got a frame, and then they probably have a polymer unit that's going to be like kind of stuck on it or whatever put on it.
Or maybe they're going like the 365 because I know I want to say the Dan Wesson is using a modular grip as well.
Here we go. We can.
Oh wait. Okay, yeah. Let's watch this.
So we'll kind of check it out for a sec here. So there we go. I'm not monetizing my video, so hopefully we won't get any kind of a strike for this. But yeah,
it's a hammer fired, but it's not internal. It's still, you can still see it on the back end.
Yeah, it does have it does have like an internal hammer where it doesn't actually come out the back. It doesn't actually leave the rear side. But yeah,
we saw a big gash in the back of that.
So that barrel just slides back and goes forward. So it like goes back to extract. So you actually see it physically move.
It's probably it might. Well, it can't be rotating.
No, it's literally. I think it just goes back.
It's square.
So there's a gap in the back.
There is a hammer. You can see the hammer a little bit.
I mean, they're putting good components on it, but that's all we know right now. Yeah, and the guy did not take it apart and show it, so maybe they'll show it off in the video. But thought that was kind of cool. You say, well, it's just another 9mm. Well, it's something different, something new, something kind of fun. You know, I'm never going to be opposed to a new firearm hitting the market, obviously. You know, so it's kind of cool. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I think we'll go ahead and let the panel give us their outros here, and then we will give a little shout out on the YouTube side to everybody watching. And I've already got next week's title figured out, so we will post that as soon as we can so you guys can mark your calendars because we'll be meeting again next Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time. It's going to be a good little gathering. Awesome panel with us today. Shout out to Squib, who is also with us today. That was joining us, and he's got stuff going on, and he's always been with us. So, all right. So, Defense Dad, we'll go ahead and start off with you. Anything you want to say before we go?
Not really. Good show.
Cool. Yeah, it's always a fun discussion. You never know how it's going to go because it's like, okay, New Year's resolutions. What are we going to talk about? You know, but it's neat to kind of see how we've changed and what we're going to be doing. If you go watch our episode from like 3 years ago, we were probably like, yeah, I'm stocking up on ammo. It's cheap, you know, pre-pandemic. Yeah. The pre-pandemic New Year's resolutions episode. They're giving away cases for $99, free shipping, you know, no sales tax. Yeah.
Boy, wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, God. What's that?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Mm-hmm. All right. American Hillbilly, any final plugs you want to give us? We want to watch for you going live Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. American Hillbilly is going to be doing a podcast. He'll be broadcasting it from your channel, right?
You bet. Yeah.
What are we going to call it again? Some Rednecks Invited podcast? Is that what
yeah,
the We Are Family podcast? We got to come up with something creative. So picking possums or something, you know, I don't know, something kind of fun. So that's right. Canned Goods and Shotguns podcast. There you go. That's all you need right there. Make sure you check out American Hillbilly's channel. Yeah, Hillbilly's Cooking. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cooking with the Hillbilly. And then, guys, make sure you check out his channel because he's got that compilation video that's awesome. It's so much fun to watch. This guy's just shooting everything, man. Shooting everything. Anyway, American Hillbilly, I'll let you take it away. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I just dropped a video last night on a M&P 2215. That's something new here, and really sweet little gun. And of course, we got that live show coming up, and then just got plenty of videos, you know, lined up, and you know, hopefully gives people some fun entertainment. And still on the quest to take out all the hard seltzer that I can.
Thank you so much.
I
appreciate being a responsible adult and doing that. So. Sounds good, man. All right. Well, it's good having you here. Appreciate you joining in, and hopefully you'll be with us next week too. So.
You bet.
All right. And Single Shot, anything you want to say before we go? Gonna wrap it up, buddy.
I hope everybody has a good week coming. And, I'm back on my regularly scheduled run now, so I'll be back home Wednesday. I'll be home Thursday and leave out again Friday, mid-Friday, midday, take off again. So.
But you're still retired, right?
Oh yeah,
technically.
Yeah,
okay.
Then that's right.
Yeah, sort of.
I'm going to keep running until I can't pass a physical. When I can't pass a physical, I'm going to have to.
There you go. I'll take over for you for like another 2 or 3 years.
There you go.
There you go.
Right out here and run with us.
That's right. That's right. The TP11 Express, Yeah.
There you go.
On board. Oh, man.
But,
Running this
no,
trailer load full of primers over to Foose's house. I'm going to drop them off in Missouri. They got to pick up American Hillbilly and go get some high points.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's cool, man.
I hope everybody takes it easy. Has a good week. America moves by truck. Take care, y'all. Bye,
Always.
Alicia.
Bye, Alicia. All right. Foose, anything to say before we go?
Just keep getting better.
There you go. That's right. Keep striving.
No
Keep
matter
improving
what,
every day, man.
Just keep getting better.
That's right. That's right. In the words of my favorite rapper, always strive and always prosper. So there you go. That's right, man. Always striving and always prospering. Okay. Firefighter, anything you would say before we go?
Not really.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So I saved this one for the very end. I'm just going to throw this one out here. No matter what I say, the answer is going to be wrong. Okay. So RDN asked us a question. I want to end on this note. I want to buy my first AR-15, but I'm not sure what to buy. We'll do this round table. I'm going to throw one suggestion out there. First of all, RDN, budget, legality. What can you own? What's your budget? I want to give you an answer. I'm just going to assume that you can buy a 16-inch carbine length AR-15. And I'm just throwing this out there because if I was going to just recommend one to somebody that's not a gun guy, that doesn't build their own, that doesn't whatever, just go get a Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2 and go home happy. It'll be supported with a good warranty. It's a good quality firearm. You're looking at maybe $700, maybe something like that. Sometimes they're on sale. So I'd say an M&P Sport 2. Foos, can you throw an AR-15 recommendation out there? Just anything?
Yeah. Go browse PSA and see what you like. They don't make crap.
Yeah, Palmetto State Armory. They got different price points for you. There should be something that'll match your needs. Then go watch my channel because I either cleaned it or bought it. So, okay. All right. Firefighter, can you recommend an AR-15 to RDN?
Since I only have one, I really can't.
So what'd you buy? What is your AR?
Mine's a DPMS Panther.
Okay, and that's what I started with. I started with the Panther Oracle. Now, those were out of production. I think they're back in production because DPMS is back. I think they're owned by Palmetto State Armory. Fine, but if it doesn't have, you got to watch out because they've got this low gas block on the front. It requires a special flip-up sight on the front, a higher flip-up sight that's expensive. So try to maybe get something with a fixed front sight or a consistent rail all the way across the top at the same height, so you don't have to do anything weird like a higher flip-up iron sight on the front like I did, because I bought my Oracle, then I had to turn around and buy a $100 Midwest Industries low gas block flip-up iron sight because otherwise it wouldn't be in alignment with the rear. Is yours a fixed front A2 sight, or do you have to do the same thing?
No, mine's a fixed front sight, and it's got a removable carry handle.
Okay. Yeah, and mine was just an Oracle, which was totally flat top, except it had the low gas block on the front. So, okay, so there's a suggestion. Hey, you can get those used. They're fairly inexpensive, and I don't know if what their new price is. I think the DPMS, I think they're marketing a PSA AK, if I'm not mistaken, and I think maybe they're doing it more so they can get PSAs like line in gun stores, because PSA doesn't really traditionally sell through a lot of gun stores, if at all. They're more of an like direct sale to an FFL to the customer. So, all right. Defense Tech, can you recommend an AR-15? If you're just going to get one, what would you get?
I mean, if you're just going to get one and you're not 100% sure you're going to want the platform, go, I'd say PSA, or honestly, if you have a Shields, they sell the basic Black Rain Ordnance one, usually on sale for
$6.99. Yeah, if you want a Black Rain,
$6.99. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that's going to have a lot of support. The company's been around for a while. They do make some expensive customized guns that look great. But yeah, they do make that standard carbine. They were actually making those and selling those during the pandemic time because there were no other carbines available in the store except those. So Black Rain Ordnance actually shifted their production to go to a lower price point just for the sake of having AR-15s in the store because everything else was gone. So that's cool.
They sell their Spec 15, which is their basic. It's basically their version of the Smith & Wesson M&P.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the like Smith & Wesson has their special bolt carrier on theirs.
Okay. Is that a non-auto cut bolt carrier? Is that what it is, or what? I can't remember.
Hey, from my understanding, it's kind of a proprietary, so it's not. It's like a regular bolt carrier.
But you do get iron sights out of the box, so it is a pretty good value. You will get a magazine with it too. So basically, out of the box, you just got to clean it and run it, and you're good to go. You don't have to buy anything extra for it. So
I mean, if you want to go cheap and get a PSA lower and a Bear Creek upper, just like stay with a 16 because it's going to be legal in most states that you can have ARs.
Yeah, get yourself a rear charging 16-inch mid-length gas upper from whatever company, Aero Precision or Anderson or whatever, whatever you want, or go high end, whatever. I don't care. But again, RDN, we don't know your budget, and I'm not sure if you're still watching, but we're answering it. Okay. American Hillbilly, can you recommend an AR-15? You just bought your first, technically. How's your M&P? You got the M&P 22, so
it's great. Yeah, I really like it. That'd be one I would suggest. Really, what you guys have suggested, the PSA and stuff, and those are all just great basic guns. My youngest son-in-law, he actually has a Springfield, and he's bought another one, or a higher dollar one. I can't remember what brand it was, but he says he still likes that Springfield real well.
The Springfield Saint. The only problem I had with the Saint was for what they were asking for price, you weren't really getting much more over, say, a PSA or an M&P Sport. But it doesn't, people go with the marketing, sells a lot of people on them. There's some cool furniture on it and stuff. I mean, that's fine. Really, I'm not going to shame anybody. Yeah.
My main suggestion would be, try to find some to shoot, before you spend the money, because
yes,
that would be my main suggestion.
Rent one, borrow one if you got a gun friend that has one. I mean, just understand that they could try to push off on you what they own, which could be a $1,500 AR or $2,000 AR. So yeah.
So one thing whenever it comes to ARs, the main thing, like what's going to feel different about them is really going to be triggers and the barrel
kind of fit and finish, sort of. Well, the type of barrel.
I'm saying behind the gun, shooting it. The thing that will feel different between them is the weight of the muzzle, being your muzzle. How the profile of your barrel, and then trigger. If you go, maybe stock as well, but if you take a PSA that has a barrel trigger and a stock, and then you'd go to a Saint and have those three same things, you're not going to notice a difference.
If it's just a mil-spec trigger, depends on how much fit and finish they put into the final product. You might not notice much of a difference. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, if you take those three parts and go between them, you're not going to notice a heavier, light, bolt carrier. You may notice a spring a little bit if it's sprung differently, but other than that, you're really not going to notice a whole bunch of stuff.
I agree.
Well, I'll say if you're going to go the PSA route, buy the upper lower separate, because you're going to pay on average $100 less than the full gun together. It's the same thing.
And the reason come to your front door, the lower the reason go through FFL.
The reason for that is because if you buy the rifle together, the ATF will have an 11% tax on the entire firearm instead of just the lower.
And that gets passed off to the customer. Yeah.
Yes, if you do just the lower, they only have to, you buy them separately. They only pay that 11% to the government on the lower. And then the upper is just an upper; it's a part. But if you buy them together, assembled, that entire thing's a firearm.
Yep. And last but not least, single shot. Can you recommend an AR-15? A brand that you trust, or something new or used? What would you recommend to somebody who just wants to go get their first AR?
Yeah, I would recommend the M&P myself, Smith & Wesson, and the PSA. I've had good luck with everything that I've bought from PSA so far. So Bear
now
Creek.
For RDN may not know this. PSA is Palmetto State Armory, because we keep saying PSA. He's like, what's PSA? Is that a commercial for not doing something bad? Like public service announcement. So it's Palmetto State Armory. We don't know what knowledge you have on the guns and brands, but we want to make it as easy as possible for you to figure it out for yourself. Yeah.
And the other one that hasn't been mentioned there is Bear Creek Arsenal. They build very nice.
And I have a lot of their guns, and I've tested a lot of them. They're about 10-3 with me right now. So, if you get one, take it apart, clean it, run a lot of rounds through it initially. If it has no hiccups at all, no mechanical issues, no problems with it, then you're good. If anything happens, contact them and send it back. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. For $100 more, $75 more, you can get, a PSA. Depends on what you want. I own both. I love both companies. I've owned several, and I test for them. But I'm just saying that, out of the box, not that an M&P couldn't have problems, but I'm just thinking who you're going to be buying from, but still. Yeah, I'm not trying to be biased towards any one particular company. Yeah. So RDN, it depends on
Bear Creek's not going to be sending you anything.
Oh, they do. They do anyway. Dude, I broke my gun and they
Excuse
were totally cool about it. I remember a 300 Blackout had the gas block came loose on it. My 762x39 had problems. So no, they've been great about it. They've been fine. They were actually they said, hey, make a video on the customer service experience. Now, granted, they sent me the one upper I bought from them. I returned it to them without even telling them, and I did a video on it, and they were fine. I had it back within I think 3 weeks. They sent me a label, sent it off. It had about 3 days of travel, 3 days back. They had it for about a week. They fixed the gas block on it. My stepdad's had problems with some of his 762x39 uppers. We've sent those in and they've replaced them. So it's there. You just want to make sure it runs out of the box when you first get it. Now, the last question we're going to answer for RDN, I think I can handle this one. What about purchasing from a pawn shop? Okay, so you want to see the price that they're asking versus the price of getting a new one, like at a gun store, like going to big box or online, you know, figure in your shipping, your tax, your transfer fee. The pawn shop can be a good thing. I've bought several guns from pawn shops. I bought a lot of guns, most of my guns from pawn shops, back before I moved to where I am right now. So if you can, you know, open up the upper, ask the pawn shop owner to show you the bolt carrier group, take a look at it. Does it look, do things look clean? Are things nice and tight? The gas key on the top, the little key coming off the top, the little straw coming off the top, is that loose? If everything looks solid and everything looks nice and there's no pinged up chunks of metal, there's no like impact points on it. If that looks good, then that's okay. Then look down the barrel. If the barrel's got nice spirals in the barrel, if you can see the grooves in the barrel, make sure nothing's rusted out inside, you're going to be fine. They may not let you dry fire it at all. And I mean, there's a chance that a perfectly good looking gun could have feeding issues, and there could be a reason why that gun's being pawned. It could be because the person needs money, or legitimately the person just wanted to trade up on something else and didn't have any other way to get rid of it. So I would get it, but ask them what kind of a guarantee is there. Can they guarantee it's going to function and cycle? And then when you do take it out, get some good ammo for it. Get at least like a 55 grain brass new manufacturer round for it. Don't go buy just some cheap steel case stuff that may not cycle through it properly. So get good ammo. And then at that point, I think you can be confident sticking with that gun. I'd recommend getting new, because you can get a new AR-15 home at, you know, delivered to your FFL and home for like $400. You know, you might have to add some sights to it, but still, you know, it's hard to want to justify spending so much more for something used when you can get it brand new with a warranty on it, because you may not have a warranty on that used gun either. So that's something else to consider. So that's
another thing to do if it's an AR is, if you can break it apart, look up at the very top back, right where the gas tube comes in.
Gas tube comes out,
and you will see how much it's been fired, because that is a place that is very hard to clean if that's all gunked up.
So when you flip that upper over and you look in it, there's a little straw, a little tube that's going to be a silver tube that's going to be sticking out of it. Look down there, and if that area is nice and clean, you don't see a lot of wear. If there's a lot of finish, if there's not a lot of visible metal, bare metal inside that upper when you look in it, it may not have been fired a lot. Chances are, if somebody bought in the last couple of years, they might not have fired it a lot because ammo was so expensive, so it might not have a lot of rounds through it. But after that, you should be good to go. But also maybe look at the manufacturer. Are they still around? Are they going to cover it with a warranty? Can you still get parts for it? Is the bolt just a standard AR-15 bolt? Can you replace it if you need to? There's a lot of questions to ask. That's why I would just say, just go with something new and not worry about it. So that'd be my opinion. So, all right.
I got a 6.5 Grundle at Bear Creek, and I've had real good luck with that so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, for the most part, I've just had little things go wrong with mine that have happened before, like out of the box within like the first 50 rounds. So it's just in my stepdad too with his 762x39. So, anywho, not ripping on it, because I mean, they do offer a very low price point and they do stand behind their customer service. I know a lot of people don't like them, and that's fine. You don't have to go buy something else, but I've tried them and had good luck with them. I've owned at least a dozen. I've tried at least a dozen of their uppers and owned several of their rifles and pistols and so on in different calibers. So, all right, let's give a little shout out on the YouTube side here. What do we have here? Armed Rebellion 47 is joining in. Hillbilly Up is pulling double duty with us today. 500 Magnums out there. Vanessa Kitty, Bjorn is joining in. RDN in the house. Kevin June's out there also. M. Gabriel's been with us the whole morning. Thanks for watching, M. Gabriel. I appreciate it. Deuce is out there. They were talking a little bit of lever gun action out there. Garage Guy 879 in the house. Sam of Anarchy 92. Kendrick 98. Defense Dad's over there and over here. JH 586 with us. Tony York's joining in. A lot of people watching today. Defense Dad pulling double duty. Armed Rebellion 47 again. JH 586. Jim Murray's out there. Good morning, Jim. Ozzy Orsborn's in the house. We probably had some tacos and French fries make a guest appearance. Ghost Tactical was out there. Ghost, you guys had an awesome drawing last night. That was fun to watch. Very cool, man. You guys have fun at SHOT Show. Tommy Gunn out there also. Tony York, Bald and Curious joining in. Kind of a fun little discussion we had on golf. And I'm not ripping on golf. I got nothing against golf at all. I'm just saying in the wintertime, let's open that course up so we can really have some fun with it. Racer 24 is in the house. Kristen the 740 joining in. And that's probably about it. G23 is watching. I think G-Webs might have been out there today too. Starting to run up to the top of the list here. Krabby Turtle watching, tacos and French fries. Good deal. All right, so next week we'll have a discussion on anything cool that we saw, maybe that was premiered at SHOT Show during the week, into the weekend, anything that's making some quick videos appearances, and then also just how much do you really need to pay for a gun? Like how much should you or do you really need to pay for a firearm? How much have we paid for a firearm? Was it really worth it? So that might be kind of a fun little discussion. We can kind of yell at each other a little bit over what's trash and what's not, and is that polymer gun really worth $650? Is it not? When I can go buy this one for $350. But anyway, that'll be discussion for another time. So we'll leave it at that. But just for the record, the CZ Shadow 2 is worth every dollar you pay for it. I'm just going to throw my bias out there right now. Anyway, this is Travis P11. On behalf of the entire panel, Foos, Firefighter, Defense Dad, American Hillbilly, Single Shot, thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see everybody next Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time. This has been episode number 264, Season 5, on America's favorite quality of life improvement podcast, The Caliber Corner, Firearms Resolutions 2023. What's on your wish list this year? All right, hopefully you guys have fun, be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, guys, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye, Felicia.
Hey, Felicia, get the credit card. I got some high points I need to pick up.